Peace to the room.
Yeah, I'm aware of it. Where
Peace.
you go with that?
Because it looks like it kind of looks like an angry mob just jumped on these guys when in actuality the um the guys who got jumped on
Actuality.
in actuality the guys who got jumped on they were instigating the situation first and then they
How do you know
slapped.
that? What information do you have to prove that?
Excuse me, I'm going to interrupt you.
Actuality.
Was Sig done finish
Hold
speaking?
on,
Babylon.
Dr. Adams.
No, can we let Sig
No,
finish
Dr.
speaking?
No,
Adams, hold
we're
on.
talking about the
Adam, I think
situation
he
that
was
happened.
done. Just to let you know. I think.
Yo,
Come on.
they love to hear black people talk down on themselves.
So,
Can you let
no.
Sig finish, please? Stay well fast. Shut the fuck up.
Okay, hold
We
on. Let
It's a
one Mike. I'm
video.
asking
It's
Be
one
a
nice.
Mike a
Be nice.
question. I'm asking one Mike a question. What information do you have that they instigated it? I can't find any of that
I got
information.
the actual video.
What? Go. Can you post it?
Yeah, I'll grab it and post it. They smacked the kid. They smacked the black guy, and that's what lit the fire.
But again, it's why.
It's
And
not a butt
the question.
again.
Well,
Now,
first of all,
if
it is
it
but
starts
again.
with physical violence
Hold
and they
on, man.
finish
Hey,
with
shut the
physical
fuck up.
violence,
This is exactly what we're talking about. I started talking, and you niggas can't shut the fuck up and have some decorum and respect.
you're a
So
nigga.
what? Yeah. Your mom's a
Whoa,
fucking bitch
Yo,
too.
whoa.
I'm fucking with you. Go ahead, bro.
So again, this is what we're talking about. So still, the question reigns: why does it take a mob of people? You typically see this with niggas. You can't just have a one-on-one. Even my experience bouncing in bars and clubs and DJing bars and clubs on the country nights and the top 40 nights with white people, if there was a fight, it was typically a one-on-one. And it could be maintained, and the bouncers could do their job and separate it and break it up, and it wasn't a big deal. But hip hop and R&B night, when you niggas would come in, a fight would turn into literally, it
That
was like a chimpanzee exhibit at the fucking zoo. All you motherfuckers would chimp out and have to involve yourselves and
send
start.
it to me.
Yo, can you shut the fuck up? Act like a fucking black person and stop
No,
acting
no, I
like a
was
fucking
talking in
nigga.
the background.
Then
My
mute
bad.
your fucking mic because I'm talking in the
Shut the fuck
foreground.
up, pussy.
Yeah, motherfucker.
Whoa.
Get the fuck out of here. Go back down to the nigger section. Bye. Go back down to the slums. Go back down to the motherfucking hood. Bye. But again, why do when it comes to black people, it's like you have to include 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 people for something that could just be resolved in a one-on-one. You guys are just extremely fucking violent. You guys push it to the fucking limit, past the limit. It's just the weirdest fucking shit, man. Take some accountability.
Yeah, Sig, like, so I was at a Dave Matthews concert last night. I didn't see one police officer the entire night. But
Because
when I went
black people
to,
don't listen to that shit.
I know, but when I went to a little Yachty concert, there were so many everywhere, and there were some fights, and yes, there was some scuffles. But when I went to Dave Matthews concert, everyone was enjoying their time. It was amazing.
Okay, great. Well, to Sig, I'm not a nigger. I'm a human being first. And it's very sad that you hate your own people. Very sad. Uh, get educated, fool.
So again, pay attention, guys, to the logic coming from the black women. You wonder why the black community is in the fucking dumpster is because we got stupid
Yeah,
bitches
your
like that.
mama's in the dumpster.
Okay, so
Whoa!
again, you see what I'm saying? You see how when you were talking, I
Wow.
didn't come off mic. I
I
waited for you
love
to
a
It's
finish.
good your
sad
mama.
that you
There's
hate your
nothing wrong
own
with that.
people,
So again, I
bro.
don't hate
I'd say your
You
mama is
I
a
don't hate my
categorize
dumpster.
all
people.
black people in this
I'd
Here we
say it
box,
go.
hit the
Here we
bitch.
go.
dumpster inside of
Here
your
we go.
mama.
So look here, black bitch. I didn't say anything while you were talking. Can
Your
you give me the
mama's
same?
a
Your
black
mama's
bitch.
a black
Whoa!
bitch. That was
Whoa!
So
Whoa!
there it
Whoa!
exactly
is.
what I wanted to say.
All right. So you can go down to the nigger section too. So again, I don't hate my people. I love black people. I can't stand you fucking niggers. That's what I can't
Your
stand.
mama's a fucking.
So again, black people are great because black people like myself, like Ray, like Nye, like fucking Adams, who actually have some level of fucking decorum, who have some class and fucking grace. Like those are the black people I fucking love. It's you fucking niggers that come in and you just fucking turn everything upside down. And people are giving you grace and trying to understand your situation. But it's like no matter what level of guilt, understanding, consideration, empathy that people show, you take that you ask for that inch, and when you're given that inch, you fucking take a mile, man. And people are just getting fucking sick of it. So dumb bitches like you who can't understand the difference between niggas and black people. No, I love black people. I love my grandmother. I love my great grandmother. I love my grandfather. I love that generation of black excellence. who were very well manicured, very well dressed, prioritize education, prioritize speaking English properly and assimilating to American culture and wanting to be part of the group, part of the solution and not part of the problem. Those are the black people I love. It's this generation of you fucking niggers that I
Sig,
can't fucking stand.
Sig, white people were once black people that came out of Africa. White women were
That's not
once
fucking
black
true.
women that came out of Africa. White men were once black men that lived in Africa.
Yeah,
Dude,
so like if you look at
I
like
don't believe in
Reverend,
evolution. That's a bunch of
if you look at
bullshit.
Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. and like his speeches and the way he's talked and the way he conducted himself, I mean that's what not just black
Reverend
people, but
who?
everyone should strive for.
Wait, 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 hold on. Reverend who?
Martin Luther King Jr.
No, no, listen. First of all, Martin Luther King is still alive. Okay, that man is 90 years old. He lives in Florida. The only reason why he faked his death is because he wanted to marry a white woman and he was
Wait,
tired of activism. Okay, so the fact
what?
that y'all believe that Martin Luther King is dead, y'all are horribly mistaken or you're just drunk.
Wait, did you read through the 2,300 pages of the FBI files?
He's alive. What are you talking about?
All right, can we like not
Because I'm
derail?
only
Let's not
I'm only
derail.
on page.
Yeah, okay, okay. It's not, this room isn't about JFK. I don't
But
fucking
you
know.
know, I do want to ask Sig about how the black community thinks of the YN culture because I live really close to DC and it's bad out here.
Can you elaborate, please? I grew up in D.C. but have not lived there since high
Yeah,
school.
it's
YN culture.
yeah, young nigga, the young
What
Whoa.
nigga
about the
culture.
young
So,
Caucasoids? There's
wait,
plenty of black
wait,
kids in every neighborhood, bro. What the fuck is over it, bro?
Brandon,
Like, come on,
Brandon,
dog.
Brandon. Zen a minute. Can you
Brandon.
elaborate? Can you elaborate, please? Because I grew up in D.C., but I have not lived there in a while, so I'd like to hear about
Well, what
how it
type of
has
neighborhood
changed.
is it in? Is it a rundown neighborhood
Yeah,
that
I'd
you would
like to
call
hear what type of
ghetto?
neighborhood it
Right, where
is
people don't
in.
have
What
any
type of
opportunities
what
to get
is
out of
the
that
Y?
ghetto? Maybe they will turn to certain things. Who knows, man?
Let's
Who
go
knows
to
what type of
Zen a
I
situation
minute.
think
they be
that
in?
really
And
hit
next
a
up,
sore
Zen a
spot
minute.
But
within the
what about
black
the little white,
community. You
And
know,
young
now,
like the
Caucasoids that want to
whys
be
and
Zenimini to
YNs and live
take
in
the
nice neighborhoods
it's a
that
microphone.
want to cause
discussion that
ruckus?
One
happens
mic
What about
on
within
those type
the
of
Zenimini.
African
children?
American
Zenimini
communities
to speak.
and it
Saying
has
anything,
yeah.
bro. What about the
No,
Anytime
no,
YN
like
we get
culture?
and
silence, we
even
can
black people
continue
are
with
afraid of like their
Zenimini.
12 and 11-year-old black kids that don't have any fathers at home because they're wilding out on the
Well,
public
maybe
at
they're going
large.
through a certain
I thought it
situation
was
or a tough
pronounced
time to where
Wyland.
they have no choice but to wild out. Maybe there's no guidance. Maybe there's no
Maybe the
opportunity to have
government
any guidance.
doesn't pay
What's
for
going on
enough
out here?
therapy. Maybe education's lacking. Maybe
There's a
financial
library
resources are
desert. Are
diminished
there
in the
Well, who are in
libraries? Are
community.
there
control of
enough
those
libraries in the
financial
neighborhoods?
resources to help the
Zenimini.
communities out?
Are
Is
there
it the
libraries in
government
these
or
neighborhoods?
should it be
Because I think that
ourselves?
the
Yes,
problem
it's
it
federally
might,
funded. There's
well,
a
it might
lot
be a
of
lack of
opportunity here.
libraries.
No,
So why
no, I
is the
think it's just
federal
part of
government
the
giving funds
culture,
to these
Okay.
honestly.
Are
communities
there
to help out?
basketball camps? Are there libraries? Because if there's
Oh,
libraries, but
yes,
there's no,
100% there
if
is.
there
There's
aren't any
so many
basketball camps,
activities.
all
There's
right.
so many activities for
What
these
happened?
Okay.
young African
Don't forget about
Americans
the
We have
to
one mic.
pandemic
partake in.
and with
All
But
right,
they don't want
yeah,
to
this
partake
is
in it.
getting
And then there's
old.
this thing.
Okay,
Stop it.
Okay,
Stop
we're having
spreading out.
fun.
One mic.
Yeah, I just put the link in the chat.
all right. You put the link.
Wait,
Okay.
it may be getting old, but I actually wanted to hear
communities
what the
ravished.
YN culture is because I don't really know
Yeah,
what
and
that
that's what I
is.
was asking Sig originally, Pepe.
Yeah, so the YN culture, it's this culture that's being raised by these single mothers, these black single mothers. So they don't give a fuck. It's all about them. They come in, they destroy things, they bring a high level of violence with them, irrationality, unchecked emotions, unchecked impulse control. This is this generation that you step on my sneakers, I'm going to kill you and take your life. You say something that I don't like on Facebook, I'm going to kill you and take your life. If I have a beef with you, I'm not just going to keep the beef with you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to load up a gun and spray up the entire neighborhood and kill innocent children and women and just not give a fuck.
And
That's the
would you
YN
say,
culture.
Sig, like
So we
this
talking about
video
Black
is an
Columbine,
example of
so
this YN culture,
Amen.
you know,
That's
on
sick.
display?
that's some shit. Like the original motherfuckers going up shooting up other people, going
So
to killing
Zeniman,
children and
Brandon,
other
Brandon,
civilians.
Brandon, 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 can you please at
Same
least,
shit.
Brandon, can you at least make black people look decent by having some decorum and letting Zenimini finish his statement and not interrupting him? Like at least show a good example of black people that we have some
Bro, I'm
decorum
on
that
mute,
we
bro. I
talk.
was
Yeah, but then stay on mute. I'm asking you, please,
kind of going
because
off that
what
shit.
you
I've
guys
been
don't
respectful
realize,
and I've been going on mute. I got
yeah,
this.
yeah, but you're still talking right now. You're still
And you're
talking
not?
right. Again, I have the fucking floor right now. You don't. You're literally proving
I'm going to
you
take the
right now.
floor, right?
You there we go. That's hey
He's
Zenimini.
gonna he's gonna
That's
take
a
your shit.
YN. That's a
He's gonna
YN
take
right
it.
there, Zenimini. Brandon
Just
right
like
there.
a
That's a
green man can
YN.
take the floor, I can take the floor. Like I have a
That's nigga.
power of a mute button, just like you.
That
But I'm gonna go on
that's
mute
nigga.
and be respectful,
Zenimini,
just like
when
you
you
asked. No
ask
problem,
what a
brother.
YN is, Zenimini, that's a YN right there. Don't
I'm
give a
probably
fuck.
older than you,
I
Sig.
do
Come
what
on,
I
bro.
want, how I want, when I want. Fuck the rules,
And I
fuck
and I chose
decorum,
to go on mute and
fuck
respected you.
everybody else. It's all about me. And these single modern black women raise niggas like this.
And you're not a nigga. Okay.
Uh,
Can we maybe get a hard reset in the
Doesn't
society,
mean we
in
have
the
to be ghetto
culture,
faggots like you.
in the room?
Man, that video is
Whoa!
Well,
amazing. I
that
just watched the
is a
video
nigga.
again.
He
John,
is.
You know what's
Because
amazing
at
in
the
that
end of the
Let's
video
not
day,
is
use the F word.
my favorite
you'll be
part of that video
categorized
is the
just like
woman
us.
in the black, the white dress randomly. She like
It's not
calculates
about
if
race, it's
it's
about values.
if she can get away with kicking the guy and she like stomps on the guy and then somebody pulls her wig off. I don't know if you guys saw that part.
don't
My
forget about autism in the community. Autism.
Yeah, the black community, yeah, we know.
Hey, I put the link in the chat, so if you want to click on it and go over it.
is that the Alabama one, Mike? We
No,
see.
that's just one in Cincinnati that just happened.
Well, we know it. It's up in the jumbotron thing up top here.
I'm
Yeah.
talking about from what started it.
Link is not working for me. Oh wait.
So you actually
Oh
have
yeah, here
video
we
of,
go.
of that particular
Here we
individual
go.
using
Yeah,
the.
Yeah,
he
from what
posted. I'm
started
about
it.
to watch it and
Does it
respond.
say the N word?
Did it
What
say the
started it?
F word? Did it say the F word or N word?
Yeah.
Those
You
are
know,
the two
I
most
watched the so
offensive
I watched the
words.
start of it. So it looked like they were there was some kind of confrontation, and then they were people kept on posturing up and getting in a stance as if they were going to fight. The white guy was doing it, so were several different black people, and then it shows that they were like standing, and it kept on like for whatever reason it wouldn't just let it play, but it was like it kept on doing this short little rewind, but where it showed the guy kind of like he didn't smack his face, he like touched it. It wasn't quite a smack, it was like a touch in a weird way with an open palm. I mean, it looked disrespectful, I'll say
So,
that, but then all of a sudden like they just got jumped.
would it be controversial to say if that man was in a fighting stance with another man? I'm assuming I haven't watched the video yet. That he can use the N word at that point. I mean, like, 'cause why does it matter at that point? That's not what started it. So I don't. I like that. That's where it gets a little bit. Like who cares at that point, right?
He's saying it
I wait
started
a minute.
because of
Yeah,
the. He's saying it started because the guy touched his face, but then, but they were already there were already
exactly.
people shoving each other
He
in
kicked
fighting
him.
Yeah,
stances.
Wait,
but
he
they were
got
trying to
kicked.
break it up,
No, he
and
got
that guy
kicked by a
reached over
random
there.
guy.
He reached over there and he smacked the guy in the red shirt.
But how did it start? How did it start?
It started because those guys were acting obnoxious, and they
Yeah,
kept
but
How do you
that
know
doesn't
that?
mean
Do
you
you have
can.
proof for
That
that
doesn't mean
too?
Yeah, I got proof of that.
like words should not condone fighting. That's
If you
simple.
don't have the
Words are
full
just
story,
words
why
until
even
action
post the
actually
And
video?
starts. And
it,
You
actions
know how
speak
many
louder than
people would be
words.
dead
But
right
at the
now if you
same
could shoot
time,
people on the
words
sand?
speak louder than actions, and sometimes it's the right thing to do.
The problem is though is that you were seeing people run out of nowhere doing literal head stomps. There were people that were just running in to sneak in a punch and sneak in kicks. Then you saw the woman who she was getting attacked, and then a guy ends up punching her, sucker punching her in the face, and she's knocked unconscious on the pavement. Like that is
Just like
like
October
once again,
7th.
I
shut
don't
the fuck up, American.
I don't agree with the overkill. I'm totally against the overkill.
Overkill. He got jumped.
Yeah, no, it was more than one of them. Also, I'm saying I don't agree with the overkill, but I don't agree
But
also
one
with.
mic,
I'm
I
against murder and killing.
I think that at that point, after the guy in the white shirt had been kicked by people, he was surrounded by a bunch of people who were hitting him, trying to hit him. He was fending people off. I listened to the narrator in the video that you posted.
Mhm.
The narrator says everything's cool until the white guy throws the first punch. So let's watch right here. The white guy reaches out and touches the black guy who's wearing a red shirt in the face. Presumably, the black man in the red shirt said, "If you fucking touch me, it's over." And the white man presumably reached out and went, "Oh, it's just like this." And he touched him in the face. I think that to call that the first punch is
They
disingenuous
were
because
already pushing
they were
before
already
then.
pushing
Misleading.
and fighting and shoving. And if anything, you might even call the face touching like an attempt at a de-escalation or finding some type of humor. Because if Pepe and I were fighting,
No,
and
dude, if
Pepe
you
and
touch
Pepe,
somebody's
listen,
face, that's
listen,
it.
excuse me. Well, wait a minute. If Pepe and I are fighting and Pepe says, if you fucking touch me, that's it. And if I reach out and boop him on the nose and go, boop, and then he fucking clocks me in the face, that is insane because
No, brother. That's
yeah,
now
I
what
think
you're
that is
saying is
insane.
disingenuous. You know good and well there's nowhere in America that you can go and in a hostile situation, you're the
You
other
can't boop a
person.
It's a
nigga on the
Hold on,
lynching.
wait a minute.
nose. You
Hold
can't
on, wait
boop
a
a
minute.
nigga on the
Oh, hey,
nose.
shut up and let
Hold
one
on.
mic go. Let him go. Go ahead, one mic. You got it.
You're the other person in a violent situation and it's escalating and the guy says if you touch me one more time and you reach over there and you're saying this is a friendly gesture, I'm going to put my hand in a grown
But
man's
we're
face.
not children.
But you're a stranger. You already in opposition with him. You're going to tell me that you could just touch him in the face and say, "Oh, it was just a
I wouldn't.
friendly
No, you
gesture."
No,
can't
no,
do
no,
that.
no.
I would say that I mean, even if he got punched after touching a guy's face like that, I mean, the white guy was asking for it, to get punched back. That I take him doing that to his face as a challenge, and so that's I would only anticipate a fight if I did that to somebody.
Exactly.
But with that being said, it doesn't mean like a bunch of hyenas they get to go and just like start
But
mobbing him and kicking and stomping on his fucking head, and then of course there's the wife. Why was she getting beaten by all of these people, and why did a guy sucker punch her in the side of the head?
okay, let me add this. Okay, like I said before, morally, I think that the overkill was wrong. Okay. Also, I need to add this. It was reports of that same guy and those people running around antagonizing people because I think they were a little under the influence and they kept getting passes. And that geographical location right there, that is a all like melanated community. And it is like kind of it's one of the roughest communities in the city of Cincinnati. Okay. Anytime that could have been that. I don't necessarily think that that was racial. If it had have been Bob and he did that in that area right there, when the numbers is against you, that is the wrong thing to do. You have to know the history on the area as well. So they kept getting passes. And if you look in the video, you could see where people were really genuinely trying to break it up. So it wasn't just attack like the narrative may seem like is leaning towards. It wasn't just all out attack, angry mob attack. It was instances where they were trying to break it up and de-escalate it. Had he not reached over there,
Sure, but we don't know how it fucking started. We saw multiple black men pushing
I just told you,
black men,
if we
squaring up like before
okay,
that fight
if you take
started.
off color, if you take color off, okay, then you say there was a mob of Americans fighting other Americans, then it has a different um perception and it don't sound the same. But because you can use the race card, then it makes it look like it was black on white. I'm telling you, in
It's
that
not because
area.
of race card. You see, the thing is though, is first of all, those I saw what almost all look like adults, most of them young adults, but I saw a lot of people that appeared to be in their 30s and 40s. Now, I don't think you would really see white people behave that way generally. Sure, people can get jumped, but
you
I'm just going to say that's generally like with white people, it's seen as like pretty low and dishonorable to like just take a stomp on somebody's fucking head, if especially if you have nothing to do with the altercation. But then punching a woman, we don't really. It's not
see
really.
you're making this a comparison of race. And if you're going to do that, then you also have to speak about all the times that you turn on social media or the news and you see a melanated kid getting killed by police. So we don't
The
have to
fuck does
go
this
down.
have to do with the police? We're talking about how
No,
people
I'm talking
conduct
about.
themselves in public.
No, we're talking to you. What do this have to do with race?
Because a bunch of niggers ended up violently attacking those those white couples. That white couple.
So when you say niggers, it
Yes, that's
sounds
exactly what they are. And
okay.
that's exactly what they are. Low class, ignorant, violent, animalistic niggers.
So it sounds like you have some bias and you're racist.
No, not at all, one Mike. That see, this is the thing. It's not a matter of racism. It's a matter of we've seen a consistent pattern of behavior from a group of people that share similar characteristics, a set of characteristics. Again, if you make the comparison, one Mike, you generally won't see. I just put a link. Actually, I just put a link in the in the chat. One Mike. It's a white man in Detroit. He got into a minor fender bender, just literally a minor bumper fender fender bumper accident in Detroit. You know what the response of those black people in that area were? There were probably 20 of them that jumped this white man and killed him right on the spot for a simple fender bender. Nobody got hurt, nobody got injured, nobody got ran over. What's the likelihood you would see that same reaction if it were a black person getting into a
Never.
minor fender bender in a white neighborhood?
I can't say that because I have different instances of where white people have did things to black people, like the young black kid that was in Georgia was just jogging and he ran into the house and the white guys grabbed him and killed him violently. So
Are you
it's
talking about Ahmad Arbery?
yeah, Ahmaud
Okay,
Arbery.
okay.
And then we
You
You mean
mean
the
the
have
guy
guy
that
that
he
grabbed
trespassed?
grabbed the shotgun from one guy and was gonna shoot the
Well,
other
let him,
guy
guys,
that he took the
let him,
hold
shotgun
on,
let
let
from?
me let me
let him
finish.
finish. Yeah, let him
And
finish,
then
guys.
we have
Let him,
other instances of a young male going into a church, shooting up the church, killing in a melanated church. But I think the
That's a
thing is,
minority thing, though.
okay, but I think the thing is, we can conveniently use the race card. If we just say Americans, then we know it's an American problem. But when we try to like make it just a race thing, then we're conveniently putting something on a race of people
Okay, fuck that
that it's an
bullshit.
Dude,
No,
isolated
no,
incident.
you're
you're
being
a
very disingenuous. The reason
No,
being is that
no. He's
nobody,
appealing to minority versus the majority of what black people do.
sure, but white people, okay, first of all, there might have been some like sick white trash, uh, Nazis online that maybe said, "Oh yeah, what Dylan Roof did was so cool." But I mean, other than that, he was like white people. 99% of them think that what Dylan Roof did was disgusting, and nobody was trying to run cover for him. Nobody's trying to justify it. But for whatever reason, whenever black people do stupid, bad shit, there's always a fucking excuse with you people. Like, and it is so fucking annoying. Like, you guys need to be held accountable, and we need to call out your shitty fucking behavior. I mean, like, that's all you've been doing is try to downplay it and shift the blame more towards the white people. No, it was these
and,
fucking
and,
animals.
and
So
that's
Pepe,
not
this
true.
is this is
That's
specifically
not
my
true
point.
either
Hold on,
because
hold
at the
on, hold on,
beginning,
because you're just crying. Okay, and this is why Martin Luther King ran away and faked his death. Okay, this crying, this complaining, and this bullshit. Okay, there's absolutely no accountability, zero accountability, and this is specifically the reason why Martin Luther King faked his death, ran away with that white woman, and lives peacefully today in sunny Florida.
Listen, man, this people need to
what's
just be honest about like this is kind of why nobody likes black people is because even when they do bad shit, then we have dumb motherfuckers like this guy trying to excuse it, and it's just crazy that you really
what
have
sounds
no morality. You
disingenuous
really
is
have like
every example you have is depicting of a melanated group of people doing something to white Europeans.
because the frequency, Mike,
yeah.
it's the frequency. How
So why don't
frequent
you
it
just say
happens
that
is way
they're
more
doing
with black
something
people.
bad
Yeah,
instead of
you
trying to
kind of have to
justify
work
it?
the numbers game. Like as a mathematician, like you have to think of numbers. Like where are the numbers?
Yeah, one Mike. I don't know if you know this, but statistically, white people are 10 times more likely to die by a black person than a black person is to die by a white person.
Yeah, but Keegan, is that per capita?
What about that video of the this black dude getting jumped by a bunch of
We
white
don't need to be
bikers?
talking about no per
Sig,
capita.
what did you just say, Sig? I didn't hear what Sig had said.
No, one Mike, what I'm saying is it's true, Mike. We have a problem with lack of accountability and we have a problem with supporting and condoning fuck shit. So for example, I hear black people saying, well, you call me N-word, there's consequences. Okay, well, in this situation that we talked about in the link above, what happened if those black people said something negative to him and his result was to slap somebody in the face or punch somebody first? Why don't they get the same benefit of the doubt that we ask for? Is that if you say something fucked up to me, motherfucker, there's consequences. Well, what if one of them black people said something fucked up to him? The consequences was to get smacked or punched in the face. Why doesn't he get that same benefit of the doubt? It seems like when it comes to white people, one mic, we apply a different set of rules to them than we apply to our own people, and it's just not fair.
Okay, well, how about this right here? Okay, if we took off the race card and said it was a group of guys, and the lady got beat up by a group of guys, you know what I mean? Then would it have the same? Would it have the same consequences? And would you all feel the same way?
Well, you tell
Or
me, was it wrong?
was it wrong for what?
Was it
Uh,
wrong for the group of guys to beat up the lady and the other guys in that group at that level?
I think that it was overkill,
So it was
but
so it was wrong, excessive force, too much.
yeah, I think it was a bit too much.
You're like hesitating to even admit.
Yeah, we said that already. We said it was excessive
Yeah,
already.
you don't
Damn.
know those people. Why are you defending them or trying to like think about your
But do you?
answer?
But do you
You
think
can
that it was
simply
wrong?
you can simply
Do
say
you?
yes, it was overkill, but you're
Do
thinking
you?
about it like you're hesitating for some reason.
Do you
Well, the
think
most
that it was
Shut
wrong
up,
for him to?
David.
Do you think it was wrong for him to put his hands on the guy with the red shirt?
Yeah, it was. If he would have got punched right directly back in the face afterwards, and fell down or some shit, and it was over. Yeah, I'd say yeah, he was kind of asking for it. Um, do I think that like for the whole crowd to like jump him and try to stomp on his head, which that should be, basically that's aggravated assault. At that
Yeah,
point,
once you're on the
you're
ground,
trying to
it should be
cause
over.
serious damage by stomping on somebody's head. Like that's very serious.
And Pepe, that situation would be warranted if he was carrying a concealed weapon. He would be 100% warranted to bring a firearm out and use deadly force in that situation. It's just one Mike. No matter how you cut it, we see way more instances, and we're trying to figure out why do black people? Well, I wouldn't say black people because black people don't do shit like this. Why do these niggers always take it to the level of extreme violence? It takes 15 people to curb. Like, look at them curb stomping and kicking a dude, and like that will cause serious traumatic brain injury over something so simple like words. Why is it that when we see these types of people, one Mike, they don't typically fight one on one? It's always a group mentality trying to literally kill somebody. Why does it always have to go to that level with us?
The thing is, that I'm about to tell you. Okay, you don't just see that with a group of melanated people against a Caucasian person. You in areas like that, it could have been me. I'm American Indian. If I had, but I look like I'm a melanated person. If I had a went over there and I did the same thing in that particular area, the same thing would have happened to me. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
But
It
that's not
wasn't
true. We have statistics, one Mike, that show blacks are way more likely to perpetrate violence against whites than the other way around. We have hard evidence. We have hard data
It's not, and
going through both black and white
it's not just
administrations.
about white people.
okay.
It's
Okay,
all other races. Every single race victimizes black people less than black people victimize them. When you look at just violent crime in general, including all of it, not trying to parse. Was
okay,
it a
but
rape?
from
Was it a
what time
robbery?
period?
Yeah, it's
At
the
what,
FBI
Every single year,
statistics. Yeah, you can just look at it. It's public data. You can look it up right
every
now.
single
The
year they put out a
FBI
report.
releases. Yeah.
There's an intra.
have you done statistics on um um European cops killing melanated children?
Yes,
Opposed,
yes,
How
Yes.
how many
yes,
how many
yes.
black people did the police kill last year?
Washington Post.
10,000. 10,000.
Yeah, one mic.
Hell
If you
no.
go on Washington Post, Washington Post has been tracking how many black people succumb to cops. The numbers ain't what you guys think. It's a very
And
small percentage,
Yeah,
and it's
Roland
really
it's like
Roland
12.
Fryer
Hold
conducted
on
a
one second, man.
study
Hold on one second,
at
man, bro.
Harvard.
Hold on, man. But let me finish real quick. So one mic. If you go to the Washington Post, they've actually been tracking for years the incidences between white cops, or I'm sorry, cops in general, and blacks. It's been consistent around 200 to 250 blacks are killed by cops a year, and they show and highlight each case. It's only about you're lucky to reach the number of 4 or 5 black people unjustifiably killed. When you look at these individual cases and break them down, the black people are always resisting arrest, trying to take the cops guns, trying to run the cop over, speed off, trying to hit the cop with the crowbar or some type of. There's always some level of defiance and violence that the blacks are displaying first towards the cops, and then it's the cops responding with lethal force back. So it's very extremely rare that a cop is just gonna pull over a black person who's on their way to fucking law school and say, "I'm gonna fucking kill you, nigger. You're dead." Like that's just it's not happening, Mike. The narrative is bullshit.
But Sigon, according to CNN, there's thousands of young black people that are being killed by cops every single day. What are you talking about?
The funny
See,
thing is that these fake pro-black people who they love black people so much, they literally have nothing to say. It's pin drops when 6,700 black people kill black people every year. But if one cop kills one black guy, then they start fucking crying. They're killing our people. They're killing our people. Meanwhile, every day 20 black people are killed by black people, and they're fucking silent. These fake pro-black people are mentally ill, bro. They're degenerates, and they
How
don't
many
care about black people. They just
That's
care
right.
about
how
That's
many
right.
killing
Like
white
evil
people.
think about how many evil killer cops that have been white that they've complained about. Think about how many black people's lives they have saved by making good felony arrests that prevented these people from going off to kill more people than they actually took.
oh,
No,
that's a good point, Manville.
it doesn't matter. Look, because today 20 black people are gonna die by other black people, but these fake ass pro-black retards, they're not gonna say shit. They're gonna be
Right, but I'm
silent
saying
because they don't really care about black people.
even the worst cop who's completely racist and commits a terrible bad shooting has saved more black lives than any of the activists protesting him by making good arrests, by being there, by getting people off the street who are dangerous in his career. He's that horrible guy has done more for the black community than any of the fucking activists who want to protest him. Is my point.
Damn, bro, mic drop, man. Holy shit, that's yeah.
Well,
And the funny thing is that
It sound like you guys are forgetting where you're at. Do you
and the funny thing
understand?
is that
The
the
reason I say
BLM
that
Hold on,
protests.
because
Joe. Hold on, Joe. Joe, let him finish. Go ahead. One mic.
the reason I say that is because you must don't remember the history of the violence that was perpetuated on melanated people in America
let's
So
talk
then
about
what you
now.
during
yeah, so
during slavery and things like that. You
yeah,
must
but
forgot
one
that.
mic. One mic, what you're now saying is now it's so then it's not about doing what's right, it's about getting revenge. That's the argument
No,
you just
no, no, no. I never said that. That didn't come out my mouth. What I'm saying
You
is
keep saying melanated people. You understand that Asians are melanated people too, right? And they were
how?
actually
Okay,
And
an
also,
well,
enclosed
Spanish
community,
people
one
have
right?
mic,
melanated.
Okay.
one
You
mic.
want to
We have
talk
a
about the Hispanics? Okay,
this is
Hispanics are
begging a
melanated people
question.
as well. Like, what the fuck? Like, what are
Yeah,
you guys
This is
exactly.
doing?
begging an answer from one mic. Hold on. One mic. How should we judge society and set expectations in society based on the violence that was perpetrated on black people 400 years ago to 100 years ago?
It was
How should we
exaggerated.
change society in
Listen.
response to that?
okay,
It
okay.
was
Hold up,
Reparations.
completely
hold up.
Reparations.
exaggerated.
He
Completely
asked me a question.
exaggerated.
Can I answer it? I think that the responsible thing to do today is let's eliminate color as it relates to people. Let's stop saying white people and let's stop saying black people. It's either you're American or you're not. And then
Colorblind society.
and then we'll see where this conversation can go. Because if you say there's a violent problem in America, then there's a violent problem in America across the board.
Whoa, whoa,
Well,
whoa.
With
So
that's what.
what if what if a group in America is committing twice the violent crime of all the other groups in America?
well, the problem is it's going to be a problem in America. So that means that the problem has to be fixed.
Okay.
And I
But
don't
So
think
when
if a group was committing twice the violent crime than other groups, do you think they might get arrested more by cops in America?
He doesn't want you to bring up race because it makes his race look bad. So he wants to talk about something else. He wants
Here's
to change the
where
topic
the
and
issue
not.
is
I'm
with.
not I'm not
Hold on.
part of a black race.
Here is where the issue
Oh no,
is.
you're a
There's only one
melanated.
Here
race.
is
One
where
You're
race.
the
melanated.
issue is, okay? What needs to happen is all these Pan-Africanist academics, okay, that have invaded UC Berkeley, Harvard, and the catacombs of Yale, they all need to be deported, okay? They're the only ones doing the heavy lifting, okay, in black America as far as this fake activism that leads people to be complaining towards a pointless aim that we're hearing now on the stage. So my whole point is that when we start focusing on the immigration problem of deporting a lot of these academics that are peddling this bullshit across the country, that's where we're actually having a real conversation. And I go back to my aforementioned point. This is why Martin Luther King left, went to Florida, and married that white woman. He got tired of listening to this shit. The Africans and the Caribbeans came in there with their colonialist bullshit and started demonizing white people, and all of a sudden, white people are the problem.
Yeah, and just to answer really quick, one.
Yes, I'm here.
I think something happened. He had to go on mute.
Yeah, the thing, one Mike, is if you're gonna try to absolve race from it, the biggest group that always brings it back to race, it's our people. One Mike, we make everything about race. We don't get a job, we don't get hired somewhere, we get pulled over. Like, you ever watch body cam video on YouTube, like body cam videos, cops? One Mike.
I've seen cops before. Yeah.
Okay, well, there's a bunch of YouTube channels where it's just straight body cam footage from all over the country, all over the United States. And it's very unbiased. It's not leaning towards any direction, any race, any creed, none of that shit. But the one thing I notice is all the white people that get pulled over and have problems with the police. I have yet to hear a white person say it's because I'm white. But the majority of time, and I'm talking, you're probably talking 70 to 75% of the videos that I watch when when black people get pulled over, what's the first thing that comes out of their mouth? It's because I'm black. So it's like, I hear what you're saying, and we all agree with you that it shouldn't be about race, but it's like the very group that's saying it shouldn't be about race always makes it about race as soon as a level of accountability comes to their doorstep.
So I guarantee you, if everybody in this room right now, when they talk about the problem, if they don't identify it as a black person, or some even say a nigger, if a nigger or a white person, and just said an American, then you will understand that we have a problem in America and it's violence.
It's
And
not an
where's
American problem. It's a black problem.
See, you can't see how you just can't do it.
Hold on.
Yeah, you don't like facts. Yeah, that's the
Violence
problem. Right?
did
You don't
not
like
just pop
facts.
up. Violence does not just pop up when America became America. Okay? Violence is a part of human nature. Okay? If you don't listen, you're going to feel. It's very simple. So, I mean, this isn't an American problem. This is a human problem.
Yeah, and one Mike, I was just gonna say that if you believe like we should stop looking at each other as far as our race, then you should be pro Trump because what he's been trying to do, his different departments, his secretaries have been trying to roll back the DEI, the idea of like, the Small Business Administration has been giving loans to people based on their race, not based on their merits or their credit worthiness. I mean, stuff like that makes no sense whatsoever. We had actually the highest defaults on our loans as the SBA in the last 4 years because we didn't base our loans based on merit. We based on race, which is stupid. It makes no sense. So like, yes, I agree with you. Let's stop. You know, the government should stop looking at people based on race. Look at people based on their merit. I agree with you.
Yeah, because see, when you some people, we got to keep in mind everybody is not disingenuous, okay? But there are a lot of people that profit off of these type of conversations, and there are a lot of people that takes advantage and they spew a rhetoric based on how they really feel about a group of
Yeah,
people.
look at Al Sharpton.
Yeah, I mean, we could say
I mean, he
whoever.
allegedly raped a woman, and like he's a big advocate for the black community for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean, see how we could say whoever.
Well, I
You know
mean,
what I'm
that's a
saying?
perfect
But
example. Look at who started Kwanzaa.
look at who, what?
Who started Kwanzaa?
Look at Reverend Jackson. Also, he's I'm not gonna
Well, no,
allegedly he
I
did
mean,
bad things as well.
allegedly, but the person who started Kwanzaa, they were actually convicted and put into prison in the 70s for raping and kidnapping women.
He sound kind of low. I could barely hear him.
He said the person that invented Kwanzaa allegedly raped and did some bad things.
Not allegedly, was convicted.
Right, he was convicted for raping and kidnapping women. Like, what are you talking about?
But okay, people who are serious about this situation in America, then they're not going to differentiate
No, we
who.
are going to differentiate because once again,
No, it's an American
no, you
problem.
guys will do Black Lives
No, it's
Matter,
not.
all
It's
of
a
that
white
bullshit,
problem.
and you'll give your goddamn sob
Who is
story
you guys
narratives.
though? Who are you
Blacks,
guys?
Hold
blacks.
on. Let me explain it to this
But
guy, cause
hold on, Joel. And then it's just like all of a sudden when black people misbehave, oh, now you want to be colorblind. Like, no, that's fucking bullshit.
That wasn't even started by minority people or by melanated people.
It
That was
was
No, if
Patricia
it's
Colors. That's
Black Lives Matter was started by black
founded by
people.
three black women. Yeah, three
It wasn't
lesbian black
Well,
I
See,
look,
women.
mean, there's a
you're
lot of
hey,
not
but
white
holding
people
yourself
that
accountable. You're
donated,
lying. You're
but
trying to.
but here's the thing with them Black Lives Matter, because I've seen them motherfucking march. I will say this: you barely see any fucking black people in those damn marches. You see a sea full of white people marching for Black Lives Matter, with like maybe 10 black people amongst 800 fucking people throughout that. So I'll say that Black Lives Matter shit, although it was started by them two lesbian black bitches, that movement wasn't really a black movement to begin with.
So then why name it? See, this is what I'm saying. This is why people can't take black seriously, because we say shit like that, right? But then we label it Black Lives Matter. Then name it something else. Then it's so fucking preschool.
Yeah,
Uh,
but I'm no, but no, Sig. What I'm saying is that movement, like I said, it's a contrived movement. Yeah, there were some black people that supported it and whatnot, but that wasn't the overall goal. That whole goal really was just to promote lesbianism and really destroy the black family as a whole. When
right,
you
but
deal with mhm.
right, but Ray, black people in like when you say some black people support, no, the majority of black people supported it, right? Let's not be
I'm just
disingenuous.
no sick, but I'm just saying.
no,
I
yeah,
literally I saw them. I saw them march multiple times. All I'm saying is that I didn't see a whole bunch of black people in those marches. I saw a whole bunch of white people up in the marches, and
And that
other races and ethnic groups that were in those marches.
right, and that's true because there are more of other races than there are black people. So when other races are trying to support black people in a movement they think is righteous, yeah, you're going to see them come out. And then two, you're going to get other groups that are going to take advantage and loot and trash shit and all that stuff. But that should be expected, right? That's not something we shouldn't expect to see. But what we're saying is that again, one mic is advocating that we make this non-racial, which all I've seen my whole life is white people trying to make things non-racial. It's always the black people that come up whenever they can't get their way and want to throw a temper tantrum. They bring race into it. This is why, again, I think it was Joel or whoever brought up, Adams brought up DEI. Like that's the whole reason why DEI is still a topic nowadays. And when we try to get away from race, what happens is black people can't compete, and black people realize they can't compete, so now they want a fucking handicap and a fucking advantage, and so now they start bringing light to race and trying to make
Let me
other races feel guilty for the fact that they don't want to put in the work and they're too lazy to compete with the rest of society.
let me ask you a question, Sig. Do you believe that if Martin Luther King still wanted to be a public person, okay, and he came out of Florida and made a public statement, do you believe that he would actually be an advocate for DEI, or was he just advocating for certain laws to
no, of
create,
course he would not. He
or
would
was he
not.
an advocate for certain laws to create equal opportunity, not necessarily equal outcome?
So, Adams, I know you have. You, I, this is a great fantasy, but I think the truth about Martin Luther King's motivations and his lineage, and I just go with what his professors at his commie ass university said about him, and that was that King had really exceptional talent, and he was above average for his race, but he didn't have the problem of becoming um capitalist or becoming greedy personally, and that he was a true believer who was going to um continue carrying forward the message even if he got successful. And
So
that's
Mandel,
why they invested so much into him, because he was a true believer, not a uh
Grifter.
not a greedy person who was
Why do you
just in
keep
it for
saying
himself.
was?
so
He
Manville, you would agree that he would.
is. Like, use his pronouns correctly. The man is still alive.
Okay, he is in the shadows and inactive, but fully a Marxist agent who would do whatever was in his power to best advance Marxism in America and bring forth the revolution.
So
I
Manville, like you're
disagree.
basically saying, like in your
I
opinion,
think
he
Martin
would be
Luther
a
King,
he would
actually, Martin Luther King, honestly, would be a conservative if he's still around.
no
I
he
don't
would
know.
So
support Mondavi. He
He'd
would
be
socialist.
support
conservative.
the guy,
He's
that
a
guy.
Yeah, he's
social
an OG
conservative
Republican.
pinko.
No, he would be a
Honestly, based
socialist.
on
He'd be a
today, he'd be
communist.
considered a Republican, not a
I
No,
Democrat.
personally think he vote.
he's a
I personally
neocon.
think they.
He was
I personally think.
the next governor or next mayor of New York City. He would support that
I
guy.
personally think that he voted for Trump under his assumed identity.
No,
Yeah, if he's still alive, I don't know what the hell you're coming from, Adams. You're gonna have to give me some material on this Martin Luther King being
He's
alive thing.
still
It's
alive. Do
crazy.
you have any proof
That's
that he's
crazy.
dead?
Hey,
Have you met him,
I'll
Adam?
go with you
Have
on
you
No,
have
this. I'll go
thank
with
you.
you.
did you read the
Okay, I'll go with you.
2,300 pages? Did you read the 2,300 pages in the
I sure
International
Hey,
as fuck
No,
yo,
didn't
no, no,
have
no.
man,
time
Hold on,
Jill,
to.
man,
hold on,
So
hold
Jill.
someone
on,
did.
hold on. I
You
think
got
that
a, you got some nice skin
Are
on
y'all
there.
are y'all
You know what I'm
okay?
saying?
I think that
You look
Victoria.
like you got delicate skin. You know what I'm saying? You bruise easy. You know what I'm saying?
I
When I
also
get up
think
all up in you. Hey,
If Martin Luther King
Thank
was
you.
still alive, Adams, he wouldn't be living on some island in Florida. He'd be living on Epstein's island.
So maybe that's what Victoria and the last three
That's why they
presidents
won't
was.
release the files, Manville.
Maybe that's what Victoria and the last three presidents that she was briefing in the Situation Room. Maybe that's what they were discussing.
So I
Oh
got a
yeah.
question for one. I got a question for one, Mike. Well, Mike, since you're saying we should move away from race, would you? And I think it was a fair question. I think it was posed earlier. Would you be in support of getting rid of DEI then, and making everything equal as far as hiring processes for employment?
Yes, I would. If it means getting rid of the race card, then yeah,
Okay, I mean, hey, that's fair.
I would say make it equal across the board.
You must be a Trump supporter.
Are we talking about politics? Who chose who in the presidential race? Or are we talking about this?
I'm not looking for an answer. I'm just saying you must be a Trump supporter. I'm just making a statement.
I don't think he's a bad guy.
Mm.
Yeah, you
Speaking of
seem like you're
people who are
pretty.
alive, hey
But that's
Adams,
just
what do you
like
think
me
about
saying I don't
JFK
think you're a
Jr.?
bad. That holds just as much weight
JFK
as
Jr.
me.
is still alive, huh?
That
You know,
holds
during his first term,
that holds just as
he
much weight as
oversaw
me saying you're not a
he
bad
saw the
guy either.
lowest he saw
Yo,
the lowest unemployment rating for all of non-melanated people.
hey
So
Adams,
congratulations to
JFK
them.
Jr. is still alive too, right? I know he didn't go down in the plane. You seen him at the rallies, the Trump rallies, all these years. He's the dude with the hat that sits in the back that you see at all the rallies. He was there actually on the attempted assassination of Trump. You see all you know the guy with the hat I'm talking about, the
Are you
mustache.
making fun of Dr. Adams? Are you making fun of Dr. Adams?
No, not at all, not at all. Because I'm curious about. I keep feeling like Adam's trolling the
Well,
fuck out
let's
of me
stay
Can
right
on
we
now.
topic.
go?
With
That's not the top.
MLK
Yo,
still
yeah,
alive.
that's not the
Yo,
topic. That's not the topic.
okay.
Yeah, let's stay on
My
topic.
apologies.
Let's stay on topic, please. So one mic.
Yes,
Why?
sir.
I
I'm
got a
here.
question for you then. Why is it? Because you seem like you're pretty. And I'll tell you this. My apologies for the rough start, man. You seem like a really reasonable guy. So I'm sorry for calling your name and all that, man. So we're back.
No problem. I was just trying. What had happened? My mic was off, and you thought I was interrupting the build that you guys were having. When actually I was talking in the background,
Okay.
and then I realized my mic was off, and I was trying to apologize. But it's
Okay.
no problem. I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
hold grudges.
Yeah, same here, man. So okay, cool, brother. But yeah, you seem. I mean, you seem like you're pretty reasonable, man. You seem like you're a decent guy. So then, my question to you is, why don't more black people think like us, where we want to take race out of the factor? You know, Get rid of DEI. Get rid of anything that makes it about race, um, and make it more about being an American citizen and being competitive on an equal playing field. Why is it that most of our people don't think this way?
Well, I'm not trying to be arrogant or anything of that nature, but everybody are not the same. I'm not black, so some people are different. But I think it all should boil down to: do you want to be an American or not? And if
I'm
you
sorry.
don't,
I'm just gonna do. I know because I believe in accountability. When you say, I heard you say you're Indian before. Who are your people?
who are my people?
Yeah,
I'm
you
an
said
American.
you're
I'm an
native.
American. I'm an American Indian. I never said
Well,
native.
American Indian, amazing.
Yes,
What is that?
that is an American Indian.
Okay.
What tribe?
Cherokee.
Yeah, right.
Cherokee.
Hmm.
So so you're not black. You just happen to look black.
Black is not a race for real.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
Literally.
Black is not a race. I'm sorry. You've been misinformed. Just do your research,
I've done my
and
research.
then you'll know that black is not a
Yeah, or no,
race.
it's definitely people from sub-Saharan
White,
Africa
just
are
like
black.
white. No, no, sir.
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
not true.
it is true.
Do
Well,
your homework.
if you're being
Okay,
technical,
all right, then I'm gonna say this
one
to
mic,
you.
real quick. One mic, real quick. Though, if you're being technical, you're correct. Black is not a race. It's technically Negroid. We just call it black. Just like white isn't the technical term. It's Caucasoid. So technically, you're right. But there is Negroid, Caucasoid, Australoid, Mongoloid, Capoid. Like those are actually races. Those actually do exist.
And to be
Mike, I'm just
technical,
gonna say this,
hold up. To
okay?
be
You're not an
technical,
Indian,
hold
and
on,
like
brother.
the one thing blacks also have to stop doing is stop trying to co-opt other people's identities. It's really, really fucking obnoxious. I understand you bought into a bunch of pseudoscientific, bullshit online, but you're not. You're just black, dude. That is
Wasn't
your identity. Just embrace it. You're not Indian.
wasn't Vice President Harris an Indian also?
No, she was a East Indian. She's a Hindustan. But you guys got to understand what race really is. You got to do your research. You've been lied to, and I know this is a harsh reality because in actual reality, you know what? You guys that are calling yourself white, really, you are black.
Oh
Mhm.
god
All
damn.
right. Here's a question.
Look,
Here's a
no,
question. Are
seriously.
you
Look, hold
are
up,
you a
Pepe.
hey?
Look, hold on, brother. I'll get to you. Just calm down. Look in the etymology dictionary, and you'll see that really black is white and white is black.
What did
You
the Bible
guys are
say
Amazing.
really
though?
the
What did the
black
Bible
people,
say?
huh?
Are you a Hamite, a Semite, or a Japhethite?
Right now, I'm an American. I don't want to make this about me. I want to make this about us.
No,
Can we
no.
live?
Do you
Can we
consider the race of
cohabitate?
people
Hold on, brother.
that
Can
you descend
calm
from
calm down. Can we
come from which
cohabitate
son of Noah?
together like civilized people?
Are you trying to move
That
in with
that
him?
depends on what rules are followed.
Okay, the rule is if you want to go by black or if you want to go by white, if this was so, I would say then leave. Now, would you stay? Leave
What?
America.
That statement makes absolutely no
No, but
sense.
Yeah, that
I'm
makes no
asking you.
sense. That
But
makes no
I'm
sense.
asking you, if that was the case, would you leave or would you stay?
If what was the case?
If you wanted to continue to subscribe by white or those who subscribe by black, you have an option now. You can leave America or you can stay if you're going to subscribe by just being an
I got
American.
I got uh, news for you. It seems like it might be news to you. There are a hell of a lot more ways that I differentiate myself from other people than what race I belong to. There's a hell of a lot more to me than one gigantic, like the most gigantic broad category short of gender.
I guess everybody understands what you're talking about.
But no,
So
the thing is, the one mic. It's just like how you would get these obnoxious people years ago that were online saying, "You will respect my pronouns," and it's like Zer or something stupid like that. And it's just like, dude, you have a pretend fucking heritage, and you like want us to sit here. It's like any. I'm just gonna tell you this: 100% of white people, well, nearly 100%, in most black people, if you tell them that you are an American Indian, they're gonna chuckle. They'll be like, "Oh, this guy's a fucking idiot." I
No,
mean
not
that.
necessarily, because first you got to understand what an American Indian is.
I think
Yeah,
You
everybody
we
has
do
don't
a
know.
pretty good
understand that.
idea.
Yeah, you don't understand. You need probably
No,
to
I
do a little
do.
more research
Okay, what
before you,
what what tribe do you belong to?
I already told you.
You said Cherokee.
Oh, Cherokee. Wasn't that the tribe that took in some of the runaway slaves when they went on the Trail of Tears? There was a couple of people who intermixed, like 12.
Ooh, yeah, that's not
Yeah,
nice.
it's a lot of bad history about a
Hey,
lot of
where's the
people.
reparations?
It's
As a Cherokee, I think we need reparations.
Where's the reparations?
But I
Yeah, that
mean,
sounds
I'm
about right.
sorry. I'm pretty sure if you go to the Cherokee,
We I think
I
we're
don't
going
even know
down
if
the
the
different.
Cherokees have a reservation, but I'm pretty sure that none of them, literally 0%, will have one Mike's phenotype. Like I'm sorry. Like
So it
it's just
sounds like you guys just don't like anybody. Who do you
no. I
like?
don't like people who pretend to be stuff they're not. And
So
then you
who are you?
expect me to acknowledge you as being that thing. I don't have to do that.
Okay,
You don't
so
have to acknowledge
who
the thing, Pepe, but you can still hear him out.
who are you?
Somebody who lives in reality.
Just a
No,
dude who can read
I'm
books.
saying I'm saying you're coming down on me about who I am. What is your
Okay,
nationality?
can if I go to I don't know, wherever
What
the fuck
what's your
young
nationality,
black
Pepe?
men. I'm a nigga, so if I go to wherever the young niggas like to hang out, and I say like, "Yo, niggas, what's up?" I mean, there's gonna be some problems. We know that, and just because I say I'm black does not mean they'll see me as black. They will not. In fact, they will just tell
That's
me to
not what
go
he's
shut
trying
the
to say,
fuck up.
Pepe. He's just trying to educate you.
Yeah, right.
You don't have to call yourself black. You could want to understand, okay, what do you mean by black etymologically meaning white? You could ask him that. He's not demanding anything of you. If
Okay,
anything,
nobody's going
he's
to
demanding
consider
your
me black in
ears.
person. Nobody. Nobody.
I
I can
understand that,
say
but that's
if
not what
I
he's
said I was Native
asking.
American,
That's not what he's
maybe
asking,
they allow
Pepe.
some people. I know that you have people of partial ancestry that might, that do pass as white, but
Pepe, you can't
even
tell
still,
anybody who they are.
yes, I fucking can.
Okay, okay,
No,
well,
you can't. Just like he can't tell you. That was your fear. You're like, you can't. I don't. I'm not gonna say what you. He's not trying to say that. He's just saying, look, you don't know something. Let me tell you. And every time you get on stage, you don't want anybody to tell you.
Yeah, what if he told you he's a woman? What is a woman?
Well, I mean, no,
And and then
I
and
know
at that
what I
point, you could
am. I
let him
know what
say
my
it or not.
ancestry
But he's
is.
not trying to make you do anything.
But no, he's telling me he's something that he's not. And
You
that
don't
to
have
me,
to accept it.
it's also offensive because it's also very niggerish because he's stealing somebody else's fucking identity
Niggerish is to be
and
cheap,
putting it
sir.
on like a
You
fucking
you used it. You
costume.
used it
That's
wrong. It's
fucking
niggardly.
obnoxious.
It's niggardly to be cheap.
Yeah, I want to get in this
Jews are more
conversation just real quick.
niggardly than
yeah, man.
anybody.
Whoa,
If
This
you want to act,
whoa,
if you want to call
hold
anybody
on,
niggardly, it'd
hold
be the
on.
Jews. They're the cheap ones.
That's anti-Semitic. Stop it.
No,
Hey,
it's
listen,
not. They literally were like cutting like the ridges off of fucking the outside of the
Okay,
coins to like
what
change
All
the
right,
what
yeah,
weight.
all
what were
right,
they?
That's being niggardly. That's
All
being
right,
cheap.
stop,
okay, amazing.
stop.
It's
hey,
weird. This
real
nigga want to say nigger all day. The moment I mention a Jew, he gets scared.
look, listen.
You are white, definitely.
Hey, hey, listen. So look, it's like this, right? I mean, there's many books you can go to. I mean, you can go look at the Black Indians book, where there was admixtures of black, and like literally the most mixture of any other group of races on this planet was black and Native Americans, right? Me being one of them. All right, my father being Native, my mother being black, right? I'm gonna I'm gonna just say this, right? Like like this stuff is very readily available. Like was it the Virginia Act of 1682, if I'm not mistaken, classified Native Americans as being, Negro.
Yep.
That is like that's literally something you can go look up, right?
That's how they
And
changed the
and I'm
population of Indians and Negroes. They would interchange them because they couldn't tell the difference.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, and maybe maybe you could say one had longer hair than the other and whatnot. But the point is that like when you have those admixtures, certain people when they start to mix in with each other, one DNA can overtake the other, right? So my whole thing is like, it's not far fetched to say that these black people aren't native or have native ancestry when in times past, right? And even to this very day, you do have certain reservations that have people that look straight up Negro, but
Pamunky,
they're a part of the
Lenape.
native, you know. Yeah, I mean the Blackfoot, Cherokee, the different
The
Seminole tribes and
Lenapes out
whatnot.
in Long Island. All those black folk out there,
So
they Indian.
so I'm just saying, like, just from that standpoint, I mean, when you look up the information, I mean, it makes sense. Now to sit up here and say and try to push the other Native Americans off of their land says they're not. I don't subscribe to that. Excuse me, I don't subscribe to that. But if we're gonna say that about the native black people calling themselves natives, then why that there's a whole bunch of Caucasians that are sitting up there
And we
calling
make fun
themselves
of them
Native
endlessly.
American.
We make fun of
You
these
know,
whites that maybe have
Elizabeth Warren.
20% at most DNA, and they say like, "Oh yeah, I'm a Native American." No, you're a fucking pretender, is what you are. And you even get
You
people
could
like,
call them a $5 Indian,
and
because
who's
that's where
that?
it started.
Elizabeth Warren. Like she's an example. She's somebody who did this woman of color bullshit, and she's like 3% fucking Native American. It's
Yeah, even when
ridiculous.
she lied, she's still senator. That's crazy.
Well, that testing site is is for entertainment purposes only. It's not accurate.
She's
Yeah,
not
that's
a
a fact.
fucking Indian. Look at
Yeah, but that's
Elizabeth
enough
Yeah,
for
but
Warren.
her to make
a
that.
lot of it isn't true because the way that they go through data processing for genetics, they don't. It's not as accurate as you think it is. That's why when you look all the way down on both of those genetic websites, they tell you it's for entertainment purposes only. Matter of fact,
Facts. That's factual,
Henry
brother.
Louis Gates even said it himself. He's like, it's. He even admitted that it's not all the way accurate.
That's very factual. Thank you, brother,
Hey,
for
I have a
enlightening
question. I have a
for
question for one
enlightening
Mike.
Pepe.
I got a question for you, one Mike. If you're asking, oh, can we live in harmony? Can we live in peace? If that's the case, right? If you want to live in harmony, do you have to look at crime statistics and you would have to try to lower crime, right? So you would have to look at what group of people are committing the most crimes. So is
You
that
wouldn't
something
have
that
to
you would have
actually
to
lower
do?
crime because majority of the crime is done in America. To Americans, it's done from a corporate entity, usually white owned. They do the most damage. Now, if you want to talk about drugs and like, petty theft, that happens in
No, no.
all
What about
communities.
murder? What about
Because if you
murder?
go to Oklahoma, Idaho, Iowa, there's white boys killing each other, shooting cops. I
No, we
see it all
kill
the
each
time. I
other at a
got a
way
lot of
lower rate
friends in the
than
military
black people.
and in the police throughout the United States. And these white boys, they take a lot of these police heads off. So
Nah, that's
crime
not
doesn't
true.
necessarily have to do anything with race. It has to do with circumstances. Any nigga that gets, his pockets get a little light, the baby starts screaming, he might want to go outside and do something, whether he white, black, or yellow.
Yeah, but if you
Shit, look
want
at
to
the
live in
Ozarks.
harmony,
Ain't no blacks over there, and this it's a lot of white on white crime. So you wouldn't really have to look into crime statistics because at the end of the day, most Americans have a lot in common, whether they white, black, or yellow, whatever the hell you want to call them. Most Americans do. It's usually media. People like Pepe, they like to harp on the differences, but in most cases, we want to be fed, we want sex from our women, we want our kids to be fucking safe
so
from pedophiles,
you
which
want to live
which
in harmony.
statistically usually like older white men.
No,
That
actually,
like that's heinous.
statistically,
I'd
no.
rather
This
have
is
a nigga in my
yeah.
in
Okay,
my
okay, Jaguar,
community
we
that
get
might
it, but
steal every now and then than
okay,
it's somebody that is a predator
amazing.
towards
The
children.
So
statistics, though, are very clear on pedophilia. All violent sexual offenses are committed at a
Yeah,
higher
but
rate.
I'm talking about what I
Shut the
see
fuck
on
up and
Catch a
let me
Predator. It was
finish.
a lot
Let
of
me
white
finish,
dudes.
Jaguar. Shut the fuck up. All violent sexual
I'm just
offenses
saying.
occur at a higher rate amongst black males than they do with white males. That is a fact. Now, there's one little area where of sex offenders where white men are overrepresented. That is child pornography.
Really, really.
Yes, but you
He
guys
said
you
it's
guys
child
touch kids.
pornography.
But you guys touch kids at a higher rate. You rape kids and you rape women at a higher rate than white men. That's a fucking statistical
Yeah, Jack,
fact.
you just have to look at the New York City crime
We all
stats.
have to be
Like,
honest with ourselves. The people who started off
You
as the
got to look at
Jews.
a nationwide, Pepe. Don't look at one state. Come on.
No, this is
well, no, no,
nationally.
I mentioned that. I mentioned
No,
that.
I heard somebody
Like,
say a state.
yeah, I said New York City because you just look at that and
The
it
Jews
It would
shows
be
you
a
control.
that.
better
I understood.
overall look to look at it nationally, so we can see
The problem with
who's winning
the
the race,
FBI,
Pepe.
the problem with national statistics, at least because during the Biden administration, like major cities didn't actually post their stats to the FBI, so they really couldn't compute it in the same way they used to in different years. So hopefully during the Trump administration, it's changing. But
Shit.
New York City
Come
was
on.
absent, so they had to estimate their.
So
No, it's true. You
you
can look it
guys
up.
need to think
It's
about
public
something.
information.
All right,
We're not if we can't
during
see the Epstein files,
during
what makes you think shit's gonna change under
hold
Trump?
on
I'm
during the
cool with him
Obama
for business
administration.
reasons, but when it comes to
What's more
morals,
important to you, the Epstein files or what's
Jesus
happening in
Christ,
your
Manville
backyard?
was talking, guys. Don't talk over him.
It's fucking
I'm
crazy.
sorry, I was
I
just
know I
trying to
might
make
be
a
a little
point
quiet
about the
because
DNA
I'm in the
Epstein
fucking
testing was
car's
files.
created
Bluetooth.
by Jews. It's a bunch of bullshit.
So
What?
Whoa,
one
whoa,
issue
whoa! Relax.
Wait, what did he say about the
is that
Jews?
all of this.
Nobody brought that up.
Shut the fuck up and let Manville go.
The Jews are the real
Relax.
enemy.
God damn. Am I really quiet right now? Because I'm just talking in my truck system instead of like using the
No, we can
phone
hear
instead of
you. We
voice
can
Speak
hear
with
you.
your
Everybody,
chest like the
everybody's
white man
hating
you
on
are.
Okay.
whites. Everybody's hating on black people. As soon as you say something about Jews, now all of a sudden it's like, oh, you can't do that.
Stop. Relax. Calm down,
Nah,
man. Bill's
Pepe
talking.
might be a plant because that was a strong reaction.
Can we let
So
Manville talk? Yes or
these
no?
statistics were all collected during the Obama administration, during the Biden administration. They had every incentive in the world, institutionally, with all of their bosses, to find the best stats possible, to massage it, to make all of the race issues look and go their way. And despite that, they fucking couldn't do it. They tried hard as shit to get rid of Roland Fryer's study, to make him prove that his study was truthful, and they spent a crapload more money trying to disprove his shit than actually trying to accept that he did good work. And that was a black guy, right? They have tried and tried and tried,
Fuck
but the
you
thing
and
that they
your
can't
thoughts.
hide under every kind of
Fuck
fucking
you.
term, under every
Fuck you
kind of
too.
excuse,
Fuck you.
they're robbing people because they're in a food desert. They're hungry. That's why they're stealing the computers from the Apple store during the riot. Every excuse in the book. They cannot deal with the numbers that are coming out of just general police reports in America. You put those together and you realize that we have a serious problem with a specific group of 14 to 24-year-old black males, predominantly in major cities, that don't finish school. Those guys themselves kill half the people who get murdered in this country. Half.
Wait, in Portland
That's
and
like three
Boise
and a half
and
percent of the population.
right Bismarck? Like, what are we talking about?
Bruh,
You
cut it
said
out.
major
You know,
cities.
We
hey,
Well,
kill
listen,
more
We got
hello,
people
white
in
excuse
cities
me,
and
Portland
black cities, don't we?
than
excuse
as
me.
a
Yeah,
percent of their
that feels
Bismarck,
population.
unfair.
the big major city of the United States, Bismarck.
Well, hold on. I just looked it up, and
Yeah, what
according to the statistics in America, more white people are definitely arrested for child pornography, child sexual predator, in period, than black people are. So Pepper's
per
just an idiot and a
capita.
Yeah, I
liar.
don't know what he's talking about,
Per
but I let him
capita.
talk.
Pepper's just an idiot and a
I
liar
said
and
child.
gay.
Throw
No,
the stat in the chat for me, God.
I said child pornography is where they're overrepresented when it comes to
Yeah, that's
sexual assault.
pedophilic behavior,
Shut the
sir.
fuck
I'm
up.
looking at it right here.
Shut
Sexual
up.
assault. It says right here, it's done by more whites in America than blacks.
Per
Who the hell are
capita,
you?
you dipshit. Per
Yes, dickhead.
capita,
That
you
means
You're
they're
fucking
talking
doing
about
it
the
retard.
more.
rate.
That means
You're
they
talking about
like
the
dipping their
rate that
fingers
it
in women's
occurs.
and little kids' butts. White people.
Per capita, moron.
So how many white people are in America?
A lot, a fuck ton. Well, no, actually, no.
Well,
Figure
COVID
it
they
out.
knocked
they
y'all
Find
down.
out.
they make up
COVID knocked the
58%
fuck
of
out of
the
y'all
country.
population.
How many white people are in America?
You
It,
guys are
I
like,
they
don't
you
know.
make
just
up
I
want
really don't care.
less.
I think we're about
Is that what you
what
want?
13%.
Like I said,
My people.
they make up 58% of the population, white people of America. 58%.
And how many black people are in America?
You mean Black Americans?
Just saying,
What's up? I think the
white
black,
people, white
About
honestly, I
people
40
think the
about
Black
million.
American
white
percentage
people are
went
about
down. There's a lot of
200
Africans
million.
and
White
Caribbeans now
That's
in
why
major
I asked. So
cities.
you talking
white
about
Black
white
people about
American and
40
Black
million in
Americans,
America.
white
or
people are
According to the
about
census.
200 million. Yeah, but you know what's funny is that like Nigerians are both the richest and the least criminal group
No,
of
Asian
in
Americans are
America.
the richest immigrants. Asian
Most of
Americans,
the
the
Asians
Indians
first,
and the
then
Chinese in
Nigerians.
America,
Actually,
Nigerians have more money.
Indians.
they own
Nigerians are
a
second.
fuck ton of land in Midwest. They growing weed. Nah, don't do that. The Asians are fucking y'all asses up. Y'all number two now. Asian Americans, they got all the Dunkin' Donuts. They
Yeah,
own
but they're
70% of the
Americans.
hotels.
It's
What
okay.
are we
They're
talking about?
Americans.
Hey, Africans tend to work for people. They're doctors, lawyers,
And
engineers. They don't go
Indians
into. They
are
don't
not.
really do commerce like that the way Asians do. So stop it.
Well,
Well,
Indians
I don't
are.
understand why
They're
you're
they're
lauding
contributing to
being
society.
a shitty fucking merchant class as like a grand virtuous thing to
I didn't
achieve.
say it was. I was just correcting your friend.
The way you said it seemed like you were
I
making
know
it
you
out to
don't
be
like the way
merchants
I
should be on
said
top
it.
of
I get it,
society.
Manvel. All I'm
Wait, why did you
saying is
say his
that
name?
the most successful immigrants in America are Asian Americans, particularly Indians. Underneath them, Asians. When's the last time you went to a Dunkin' and said, and you ain't hear like, "Hello, how can I take your order?"
Well,
You
that's
hear that
racist.
at Dunkin', right? Especially in the major
That's
cities. I know
racist.
here in New York City, Indians own that shit. You feel me? So when it comes to like the most successful, it's Asian Americans. Nigerians tend to do doctor, lawyer, engineer, and they work for companies.
well, bro, you might think they're Indian
And
because you're not knowing
that's a
geography, but a
way
lot of them actually are Indian. They're like more Bangladeshi and you know
that's a way to get
Pakistani.
successful. I don't know very many anesthesiologists that are struggling.
So what are you saying? What was your point after I corrected you?
My point
Because
was
you were
that
trying to take
when
a
you were
stab at Nigerians
Let him
asking,
who like
finish.
help you with
Let
you were
him
heart
asking
surgery
if
and
finish.
the
brain
no
surgery and shit like
no
that.
now you need to shut up and let me talk. You were
Go ahead, go
asking
ahead.
if the other types of black people that the general category is counting that you don't feel should be included in a conversation
I didn't
about
say
American
I
black
felt
people
they shouldn't be
would
included. I
somehow
said that
affect the
there's not a lot
results.
of black Americans in major cities. It's mostly Africans and Caribbeans that are outnumbering them now. So if you want to say
That's not
black
true.
people, what black people are you talking about?
If if you want to find the major cities in America that have a lot of American blacks, then you want to look at the major cities in America that have the highest murder rates.
Regardless of that, what's the percentage,
You'll
brother?
find
Because we were talking percentages. Remember,
it's called St. Louis,
I'm not
Baltimore,
asking about the place. I'm
Memphis.
asking for a number, Manville. Because
Number
you're
of what?
talking numbers, right?
What's the number?
Which is weird because there's way more white people. So like, how do we murder more of ourselves than you murder of yourselves when there's more of you? Like this
Well,
shit is
actually,
crazy.
This
it's
is a
if you
serious
look at
question. This like
if you look at the
shows the
FBI.
like the
So that's
IQ
a
difference between
that's a
us.
fantastic question. That's a fantastic question. So the answer is, right, if there were 100 white people and 10 of them committed murder, and there were 10 black people and 2 of them committed murder, right? Then the black murder rate would be double the white murder rate. But the number of
There
deaths
you
would
go.
be
So you
10
admit that
people
it's
would be dead.
skewed, right? When the way you look at it, right?
No,
Regardless of
he's
number
trying
and
to explain
percentages,
to
right?
you. No, you
Because
don't
you're like,
understand.
well, they
It's
killed double. I'm like, but
proportional.
what does it matter? It's 2 to 10 at
No, but
that point.
you don't understand.
Like I understand,
So
but
why
I what I'm trying to say
whoa
is
whoa
like
whoa whoa whoa
you
whoa
you
why
just
don't
equated
those
two
two
to
people
ten
matter?
for percentage purposes, right? But I never even give a fuck about people
This is the
dying because
shit the
niggas
Mandel,
die
fucking
every
pal
day.
this is
I'm
the shit
talking
the
about the
fucking Gaza
poison that gets
people
put in
do.
the food. I'm talking about like
How many
corporate corruption.
Palestinians have been killed?
Like that's what
It's
I'm
not
talking about.
proportional.
Niggas die every day. White people die every day.
wait, Manville, you forgot that
But yeah, but
the
you're
white
okay with
people,
it.
the white
You're
people,
Because
okay
white,
with it
because
as
I
long
don't,
as it's a black person.
I'm
Manville,
way more accepting of people killing each other than on purpose. Companies putting shit in fucking food and like clothing that'll
and
fuck
who's
up white
responsible for
people
that?
and
Only
black people.
white people are
Cause
Guys,
trust
guys,
responsible
me,
for
guys,
that.
it's fucking
guys,
y'all up too.
guys. You
You
White
need
could
to
people
let
are
barely eat the
Mel
responsible
talk,
for
food,
putting
man.
Melville.
things in the
That's
food.
what
Is
I
that what
worry
you're
about.
saying? So white people are responsible for putting things in the food. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, Nestle, Kellogg's, those are white owned,
Damn.
aren't they? I worry about the
But
corporate
they
threat of white people. I don't give a fuck if some white boy shoots another white boy or
You guys keep on
that's
talking.
gonna happen. I'm
Shut
worried
the
Yeah,
about
but
fuck
like the
up.
chemicals
those are
in our
called
water.
preventative measures.
Jesus
Okay.
Christ, Jaguar, stop acting like a goddamn monkey. Like
I'm acting like
Manville's
a human.
talking.
Monkeys go, they make sounds. I'm talking to you. I may be over talking to you, but like
Paul's
Pep.
nothing,
controlled chimp.
nowhere near
Every time
monkey
Manville
behavior.
talks, you keep
I'm,
on
I'm acting the same
interrupting.
way you are,
Well,
Pepe.
Pep, stop acting like a homosexual.
Shut the fuck up, you Goya bean eating spick.
You like
Now,
putting
I
Goya
thought you
beans in
could
your
do better than
ass.
that, man.
okay, so, all right, just let Manville go ahead, Manville.
Y'all so like elementary with your spick. Like, come on, man.
no.
It's
So
old
why
school.
why
Whoa!
don't
Don't
you
use the S word.
understand the why don't you understand the per capita comparison?
It's not. I don't
What's
give a
so
fuck about
hard
per
to
capita.
wrap your head around?
I'm talking about like the fucking bread aisle. This paint thinner in the bread. Who put that there? White people. Sarah Lee, whoever the fuck that bitch is.
How do
She
you
put it
know?
in there.
Well, Sarah Lee is dead. Just so you know.
I know, but I know someone owns that and they ain't black. And they put paint thinner
This
in the
is like the
fucking
lowest
in the
IQ
cereal
bullshit,
and
dude.
in the bread. Like, what are
That's
we
not
talking
no
about?
like. Those are realities. You
So
homosexual. Most of those Fortune 500
so
companies, especially dealing with food, are owned by white people, and they're the ones who put the chemicals within the food,
Amazing.
sanctioned by the
so
government.
what you
Also, a
personally
lot of white
put
people.
into
Sorry,
your
let
mouth
Manville go. Just
is not your fault. What you personally choose to feed your family is not your fault.
No, I go to like a lot of Amish dudes and get like half a cow. I don't buy this
Well,
shit.
Amish guys are
I
white.
know what's
Amish
in
guys
it.
are white.
And I think it's wrong for white people to like be okay with shit in their food. You need to
So
talk to
you
your white
don't
men.
feed your
Clean up the
family that
food,
shit.
man. Clean up the water, the air too. Cause y'all spraying chemicals on yourselves too. That's white man shit too. When I was in the Air Force, I seen some of those planes. It was white men flying them shits too. I'm just saying, I don't care about a black dude killing another black dude. That's gonna happen. A white dude's gonna kill another white dude. Shoot, you got Palestinians running from Jews,
Okay,
and when
okay.
they see a black man like me, they step aside. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it doesn't matter. What matters is what affects the masses. Because regardless of whether you white and I'm black, we still breathe the same air in America.
Can I just back up Jaguar's claims just on the child porn thing? White people are overrepresented in child porn cases.
I heard he said that like twice.
Oh, well, there were some people that were making contention. They're like they went on about per capita, and per capita, white people are overrepresented in child porn cases.
That's the kind of white I
No, we
like.
we conceded that point. And
Jaguar, real
then
quick
and
to
then
your
per
point you was
per
trying to make.
capita, what about
Good.
like almost every other crime on the books?
You mean like
What about those?
selling our secrets to other countries like Biden did?
Dude, what the fuck? No, hey, listen, none of that shit you're talking about
You
is
mean
on
like
that level.
sending
We're
his
talking
son to Russia to go
Jaguar,
smoke
Jaguar,
crack?
Jaguar.
No,
This is why
Jaguar.
we
This
always.
is this is
Because
what
I
they
don't know
This
if
is why
do.
we
black
have
no
a. Hold
I
on.
don't
Guys,
think
shut the
Obama did
fuck
that
This is
shit
why
for
up!
we
5
have
Shut
a
the fuck
years.
miss.
up while free range is going, dude. Stop cutting off
Thanks,
the
Jack.
mods.
My
So
bad,
Jag,
Pepe. My bad.
yeah. So this is why we always have a miss on this issue because we always try to obfuscate to
Continue.
some
Sorry.
shit that has. Yeah, yeah, you good. This is why we have an issue because we obfuscate to something that has nothing to do with it. Our demographic, and I'm a black male American, our demographic have an issue with violence, okay? And it supersedes any other group. We're about approximately 5 to 6% of the population, okay? And I would say black women too, but let's just focus on the men. We do a lot of fucking crime, particularly violent crime to where there's no excuse for it except the culture that we allowed ourselves to get this bad. And when you start obfuscating about policies and other countries and all this other goofy shit, chemicals in food, that has nothing to do with it. We're talking about intentional males going out with the intent to kill someone for either their pleasure or to get something as much as money. And the shit has no excuse for it. So every time you try not to address the issue, you actually enable it. You pacify the problem. So let's stick on that. I'm gonna ask you a direct question. Do you believe our demographic have a problem with violence? That's to you, Jaguar.
Well, Jaguar's not here. He left, I guess. But
Okay.
oh, they put him
Yeah,
down
you
actually.
know, free. I'm not gonna give Pepe
No,
nothing for free.
Jaguar
You know
is
what I'm
only
saying? Or
able
Manville, they gotta fight
Jaguar
for
is
that
only
shit.
able to
But yeah,
control himself
niggas be wilding in the
when he's
hood. I'm
annoyed.
not like debating that, but I'll never let Pepe like go over the fact
All
that
right,
like white people run shit.
do we have to
So
put your
anything
monkey
in
ass
here,
just back in?
regardless of
Okay, all right, nigger, enjoy the audience.
So Jaguar, and since he's in the audience, but that's the issue. You don't want to give him the satisfaction. But keep in mind, I'm a black male. I don't like this shit either. But it's not about how I feel about it. It's about addressing the issues like rehab. Regardless of when people go to rehab and they admit they're a coke addict or alcoholic, or whatever, the shit is embarrassing. But the biggest issue is being able to face it because you can't fix it if you don't fucking face it. And right now we're at a point in our society where we don't address shit as what Pepe and other white people feel about our problems is far less worse than the actual problem itself. Who gives a fuck? Like 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 people
Yeah,
like I could
isn't
die.
the first step admitting you have a problem, right?
Right, and that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
But the
but
point is, they're saying we don't want to give white people the satisfaction of us knowing that. But it's like they you act like white people don't know this shit. Like they don't see the same shit we see.
yeah,
So look,
but free range.
the
He's
knee
the one
jerk
that.
So
the
Hold
like
knee
on,
jerk
hold on. Can I
reaction
say
in the
something?
culture.
Damn, I ain't say shit yet. But free range. See,
Go
I
ahead.
Go
think
ahead.
what
I got a
Jaguar's
quick point,
problem
but if
with
you want to go, go
is
ahead.
that we know also in America, yeah, we know that the Black American community has a thing with a lot of violence. But are you trying to tell me that white Americans that do commit also a lot of violence, a lot of them are not even arrested for it? A lot of them are not sought after for those kind of crimes, even though they probably commit them at the same high rate. There are
Okay, so
also,
let's
hold on, there are also many black Americans who have been convicted and accused of crimes that white people did.
Uh, the
I
problem
strongly
or the
disagree with that,
weakness
but
of that argument is the weakness of that argument is that the unsolved crimes, like the unsolved serious violent crimes in this country, are mostly clustered around the proportions of communities where you would expect the rest of the crimes that have been detected are clustered. So there's no evidence to suggest that the undetected crimes have a different ratio racially in who's committing them. The second
yeah,
point is
go ahead.
we don't have a lot of undetected crimes in the country. There are some exceptions where the clearance rate in homicides and things like that go down, but clearance rate and knowing who did it are kind of, two different things. And as far as like undetected, we can't figure out who beat this lady and stole her purse or who murdered this guy. America does an exceptional job of detecting crime, much more so
They
than other
also do
countries.
a
A lot
great
of
job of
countries
framing people
go
for
out of their way
crimes.
to hide it.
They also do a great job of framing people for crimes they
Yeah,
didn't commit,
yeah, yeah.
especially
Yeah.
black people.
Hey, real quick. So here's the thing, right? And this is where when you deal with numbers and you deal with calculating different numbers and whatnot, like from these different intelligence agencies like the FBI and the CIA, it's not to say that they don't bring out certain truths because they do, but at the same time, when you deal with certain of these districts throughout the country, they don't report every single crime and every single situation from every demographic in all these districts. Actually, a lot of these counties are not required, right? Especially like some of the ones that are not known. They're not required to report all the crime statistics that they have too. So the point is just putting everything in its proper perspective. And here's the thing with the per capita thing, right? We can do the whole per capita thing, like measuring someone's demographic or somebody's the amount of people versus the other amount of people to compare per rate and whatnot. But at the end of the day, we got to just tally up the numbers of who's doing the most crimes and who's killing the most people and who's doing the most fuck shit. At the end of the day, that's what we have to deal with, man. You know what I'm saying? Because per
So
capita is more just comparing this rate versus this rate of people because we're trying to bridge the gap between because the numbers are so disparate as
But
far as the amount of people.
here's the difference. Here's the difference though that that is cultural that has an effect. When you recognize the 80-20 rule and you're a member of the 80% and you see the 20% that are being criminal dickheads, and your reaction to that is, ah, fuck, here these guys go again, making the 80% look like trash because they can't control themselves. That's the same thing that cops say when they see a motherfucker kneeling on a dude and smiling for the camera and digging in a little more when the fat lesbian on the sidewalk asks them to stop. That's the same fucking thing that white people see when they see another white mass shooter and his face gets plastered all over the news. Ah, look at this horrible, terrible guy. Uh, Especially if they're targeting minorities. That goes everywhere. And the vast majority, the 80% of white people who don't have those kind of views go, here we fucking go again, making the problem worse. The reaction from the black community, it doesn't seem like 80% of the people have a problem with it. It seems like maybe a third of black people uh, think reasonably and are willing to condemn interracial violence as much as they are intraracial violence across the board. There's 30% that's apathetic and really isn't paying attention at all nor cares. And then there's 30% that is absolutely fucking like revolution to the core. There is nothing a black person can do to another race of people that will ever be as bad as what was done to us, and everything is justified no matter what. Black power.
Yeah, let me say something real quickly. I'll be brief. This was it was a stats from Detroit and Chicago where a lot of violent crimes went unsolved. And according to this AI overview, it says in Chicago, a significant percentage of violent crimes go unsolved, with homicide clearance rates particularly low, especially in the predominantly black neighborhoods. While the Chicago Police Department solves about half of the city's homicides annually, this rate is significantly lower for black victims, and large portion of the non-fatal shootings, about 85-90%, also go unsolved. So statistically speaking, that means that to Rayaba point was making, it actually looked worse if we was to actually get an accurate number of how much crime going solved and how many people are solved and how many people actually committed. Meaning that if we were to get the raw numbers, it would be far worse. So the numbers we have now is just it's bad. It's fucking terrible. But if we actually got the transparency of what it was and got that up, it would make it worse for us. So bottom line is, as just as of what we're looking at, is scary enough for us to address, and we're saying that we don't have all the numbers, so therefore it could look worse for white people, which is true. It could also, but I mean it'll be even further worse for us because that clearance rate about 98% is fucking insane. That means that 2 out of 10 go solved, which means that's 8 that's unsolved. And since it's predominantly black, that means the perpetrator is likely black. So there's another black person getting, when this is probably the thing that we should be outraged about, that they're getting away with it. It's not solved, so they're not being held accountable. So you got a bunch of cases
And
of black
what does that
victims
lead
that
them
don't
to
receive
want to do?
justice. Do it again.
What does that cause
They'll
them
do
to
it again.
do in
It
society?
is no, yeah, do it again because they can get away with it. They done it. They think it's successful, and they're going to do it again. And by the time you catch them, they probably got their eighth, fourth, fifth, however many people they've done it to, whether it's rape, murder, burglary, whatever. And this is why society look at the way it is. You see high recidivism amongst black people, particularly males, and we act like it's not a
And
problem. We always obfuscate to white people. Go ahead.
what do the mammies reward them with?
Oh, they'll give them put
Four
money on their
four
books or give
five
them some place
four
to stay
five
or give
six
them
fucking kids. Yeah, yeah,
yeah
money on their books, another 4, 5, 6 fucking kids that they can
yeah
train and raise up to go do that shit again.
yeah
You know that
yeah.
that's
And
why
it's
like during this whole like craziness with the migrant situation during Biden, like when they're running like town halls in southern Chicago, like these predominantly black neighborhoods were screaming about like these people are causing issues, right? Not just the illegal migrants, but they were screaming about other things that were happening in their community. That's why the Chicago mayor only has what 72% approval rating, whatever it is. But they're yelling about not white people, they're yelling about other minorities that are inflicting harm in their community. Not just the schools, not just the petty crime, not just the murders. Like these are like people in town. You can look it on YouTube. There's plenty of videos of it in South Chicago of people who are very mad about that type of situation. So
Uh,
exists for sure.
so another area where white people are overrepresented, in addition to child sex crimes, is property crime. White people are overrepresented per capita in property crime. It's like 58% of the population. White people commit 63% of property crime,
Whoa, whoa,
which is
whoa, whoa,
another,
whoa,
it's a
whoa!
big one.
We're
That
overrepresented in
that
two
doesn't
crime
sound
areas.
that sounds like within the margin of error. That's what that sounds
It's,
like.
I mean, no, it's outside of the margin. It's no, and it's there.
That's
It's
not a
there,
good
guys.
argument. That's not a good argument.
Oh, no, no one should have the expectation that Black Americans should be responsible for 13% of the homicides, and white Americans should be responsible for 58, and if you include
Exactly.
Hispanics, 74. Like, nobody should expect that, right? What we shouldn't have is 13 responsible for 60 or 58 responsible for 85. That's what we shouldn't have. That's when major alarm bells should be ringing off.
Yeah, for sure.
But
But I mean, just
if
to the
if
point,
if the
like
black
the
if the
argument
black
was being,
murder rate was 20% and they were 13% of the population, this country would be such a goddamn nice safe place to live that there
I'm
wouldn't be
just
any room to bitch about.
I mean, this is a
I'm
Yeah.
not
stupid
making an
conversation.
argument
Just,
against
Yeah,
that.
but
I'm just
listen,
it,
I'm
it
just
is
being
stupid,
excuse
Dr.
me,
specific
Adams. But the
excuse
because
problem
me,
is, like, most people
excuse
don't
me,
understand per
excuse me.
capita.
What is this, like autism hour? So it's a stupid conversation for the simple fact that, again, each race has its own unique talents when it comes to committing crime. Okay, there are certain races that are better than other races at certain said crimes. Why? It could be environmental. Why? It could be education. You know, at the end of the day, you're not going to sit here and have white America have a conversation with their kids about this. Let's get the white crime rates down. You're not going to have black America sit at home with their kids and say, let's get a black American crime rates down. Like, this is stupid. It's completely stupid.
I wasn't making an argument
I
about anything other than just laying out the facts because there was just so we're on the same page there because there was some pushback made
point
earlier
out
by
that
someone.
every time we've held a worldwide murder competition, every time we've held a worldwide murder competition, America has won.
Amazing.
To Adam's point, I think that's not the issue about getting it down. It's about acknowledging for what it is. Keep in mind the story of the topic of the room. If this was the opposite, what's to be endless coverage, is that the group that claims that they don't want to be victims of white supremacy, oppression, brutality, etc., are the ones that's typically committing it amongst themselves into other groups. And if we was to be fair here, you would hold a group accountable because if they don't want it to happen to them, then they wouldn't do it to other people. So that would be the primary here.
Yeah, I think on the violence thing, like I think Manville, you made that point about the U.S. wins the crime. I don't know if it's the U.S. doesn't commit violent crime at a higher rate than
Well, no, no.
all
By
countries,
murder
but certainly
competition, I
Western
meant a war.
countries. Oh, murder count, yeah. Well, and I think the
I was
U.S.
using
I
it
think
as a
there's a
euphemism for a war.
gotcha. The U.S. has a culture of violence, though. Like there is something in the
Absolutely.
culture, right?
Exactly.
And
Oh, of
I
course,
don't
because
think
we're going against
I
the
don't think
British
you get
Adam,
rid
Empire.
of
that
it.
is not unique to the United States. That is human nature. I said this before you came into the room.
It's
Yeah,
People,
amplified in this
it's
case.
look at
it's
some of these,
human nature. Okay,
some of
you're
these.
never going to solve the issue
It's
of violence.
Yeah, but it's
Correct.
amplified.
Like,
I'm
look
just
at
saying
some of
it's
these Arab
amplified.
countries.
It's
Look at some of these
It's
Southeast.
amplified because now you have weaponry. But again, you don't think that the cavemen and the Neanderthals were having the same conversation about
yeah, but the
violence?
rate of violence, doctor, is different
You ever heard of
in
Genghis
Western
Khan?
countries versus the
You
United
see what I'm
States.
saying?
That's
yeah.
Sig? Like,
But you see, no, we had this conversation. We were
but
like, hey, these Neanderthal motherfuckers, they're stealing our shit. They're they're terrorizing our fucking little settlements. Let's get rid of these assholes, and we did. And then we stole their girlfriends.
but there's variation
That's what happened.
in the rate regard amongst humans in different groups, right? And there is
yes,
uniqueness in the
yes.
United States, right?
Each race has very unique talents. Okay, so like I said, Asian people, you see a lot of them do white collar crime, a lot of gambling, you know, type of crimes. You know, shout out to the happy ending massages. You know, I mean, it's just one of those things. People have a different, unique set of talents
Vice.
based on race and when it comes to committing crime. That's just what
Yeah,
it
I mean,
is.
white people cry suicide's a crime. White the most deaths by
No, it's
gun
not.
is
No, it's not.
suicide,
And I
isn't
wish
it?
that we would stop. No, it's not. And I think it's the most personal decision that a person can make. And I think that other people should stay out of it.
Hold on.
Guys,
So suicide is not a
the
crime?
crime that white people the crime that white people are truly fucking uh excellent at is fraud and embezzlement. That's white people's bread and butter.
Yeah, Adam,
Fake it till you make it.
Adam, would you rather have somebody
Hey, I have I have an airline. Send send me a 747. He sold no tickets. That's what white people are fantastic at.
No, it's more than that. That's not the only piece of crime that they do, man.
That's the
Come on.
main. That's the main.
Yeah,
Hey,
you can say that's the
give
main one,
give
but
me 3 ships. Give me 3 ships. I'm sure I can go to India and bring you back cinnamon. Motherfucker goes to an entire different continent.
Well,
That's always been
for the record, he wasn't white.
And I was gonna say Asians are disproportionate in
Cristoforo
animal cruelty.
Colombo,
All the cats and dogs they chop up and
Genovese,
stir fry.
Christopher
Well,
Columbus wasn't white.
well, Sig,
He was Spanish.
The Haitian
Or
Cristoforo
Americans are
Colombo
catching up. They're
is
definitely catching up to
Italian.
the Asians. They're catching up.
But he
what?
wasn't fucking southern. He wasn't southern Italian like your African mom, Pepe. He was fucking Genoan.
I thought it, no,
That is true. He wasn't Sicilian,
he
so
was
yeah. It doesn't.
Portuguese. I
All
think
the
he's
best,
Portuguese and
all the
Jewish,
best
Manville. Actually,
captains,
they just did.
all the best captains in that millennia were Italian. On the English Navy, in the Dutch
What
Navy,
about
and the Spanish
what
Navy,
about
all the
He
best
wasn't
captains were
What
Italian.
Italian.
about Vasco da
He wasn't
Gama?
Italian.
What was he?
Vasco da Gama was a Spaniard,
What
Doesn't he
about
own?
Ergo Vespucci?
Doesn't he own a pizzeria?
Italian.
I know that guy. Yeah, in the Lower East Side. Yeah.
Columbus was Sephardic Jewish from the
And
Iberian
Genoan.
Peninsula. No, from the
Yeah, well, who do you
Iberian
think
Peninsula.
paid for all? Who do, who do you think funded all the slave ships that brought slaves to the New
Oh,
World? Fucking
Uh,
okay,
Sephardic
okay,
Jews
yeah, but
okay.
in the
he
House of
wasn't
Bourbon and
Italian,
fucking
Manville.
Hungary.
He wasn't Italian,
Okay,
man.
let's relax.
Right? He
I'm
wasn't
willing.
a Manville. He wasn't Italian.
Here's what I will say. I'm willing to choose 5 of you to compete with each other, okay? And I want to see if the 5 of you could go a month, okay, without talking about Jews or without talking about race. I will give you $1,000.
well, Jews run the country, Adams.
You already
Not
lost.
not worth it, Adams. I don't think that's worth it. Having the South Park uh, episode. Wait. Are you saying that if the 4 other people say something about those things you mentioned, then I get the money?
You're not on the app long enough during the workday to actually sit there,
I'll win.
observe, and
I'll
listen
win
to
this
you.
easily.
So I'm talking about people who I'm going to selectively choose that I know have absolute no impulse control. And I want the 5 of them to compete with each
Oh,
other to lose.
I see. Well, no, the last one standing gets $1,000.
Exactly, but there will be nobody standing because y'all can't help yourselves.
I wonder if Adams, you could refrain from stating that Martin Luther King is still alive for 1 month
Why would I refrain from telling the truth?
for the money.
Is there something in those files that says that? I don't understand where they come from.
Yeah, it was a
Oh
hoax. The
my!
man is in
Oh
witness
my God, I
protection.
do
I'm
not want to
telling you.
talk about
What was
Yes.
this.
he
Okay. Okay. All
was
right. I'll shut up now.
was Martin Luther, was he also like there's you know I thought he
He's
was
in Witzeg.
also
In the same. He lives in the same complex as Hitler.
No, that's not true. He's in Pompano Beach.
now like also in the files wasn't there like an assumption
Oh
that he
fuck you! He's
could
in
been
Pompano Beach.
Yes, he
I grew up
is.
next to Pompano Beach. Ain't no way Martin Luther King's getting around Pompano Beach.
wait were you saying that there's no
Maybe.
black people allowed in Papano Beach?
Well, there's a black section of town on the west side of Dixie Highway, but yeah, you ain't in fucking Lighthouse Point. Get the fuck out of here. Everybody knows everybody.
Wait, west side, that means away from the beach. Why do you get to go away from the beach?
Pompano Beach doesn't really have a beach. It's Lighthouse Point that has the beach. Then you got Hillsboro
Yeah, but
Mile,
if
which
you push
actually
it, if
wouldn't
you
be a
push them
bad place
further
to hike.
west, that's like, yeah, further west means like towards the alligators.
If if I if I had to go to Witsec, I'd go to the Ocean Reef Club.
The point
Shit, I
is,
just fucked up my Witsec
the,
location.
the, the
To all
point
you fuckers.
is, okay, Martin Luther King is still alive.
Because he was J. Edgar Hoover's butt boy.
So, hey, Alan, we had a room. It looks like most of the people that were on the stage earlier that we were arguing with aren't here anymore. But yeah, we are talking about crime stats and stuff. I think that's what your PTR shows.
No, they're just some random numbers that happen to appear on a thing with random words that say white and black, having nothing to do with this particular subject.
Racist. I'm
Let's
just
see.
saying.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Very interesting.
yeah,
And so we
Yeah,
could
you should
absolutely
apologize.
draw no conclusions about how to fix the ills of society based on this information because it's just
correct,
completely random.
correct.
Yeah, but who made up those
And
statistics? Who made up that?
It's the
I
government.
believe Scott
Yeah, which
Scott
government?
Adams
Who
just
runs the government?
pulled him out of his ass.
Uh, who runs the government? So the government. Geez, I don't know. Some other random people. These are. It's the numbers come from the crime victimization report.
Yeah, and
From
who are
the
these victims?
say that again.
Who are these victims?
Well, they're not.
Oh,
They're
they're
not
imaginary.
victims. They're just random
I,
numbers.
I apologize. Alleged victims. Alleged victims.
Alleged victims, yes. Well, they show. What in the hell do they show? I'm looking at this. It shows the number of violent offenses committed by white people against black people and black people against white people, and also Hispanics and Hawaiian Islanders.
I've heard Selena Gomez actually runs the government.
She does. She does. I hate to break it to you, but she does. The Trump Obama knows she's been running it this whole time. Mm-hmm. And And the, the, saying an idiot runs the government? I'm
Yes, that's
saying
why she was
what?
crying and saying sorry when those people were getting deported.
Yeah, she was crying. That's right. She was crying.
Well, the significance of these numbers is that I know that social media tends to put things in front of you that you've already looked at. So, and if we're seeing a lot of videos and stuff on X or TikTok of violence, violence of one particular group against another, then one can get very suspicious of that. And then one also has to look at one's own life and think, well, who's attacking me now? And so that can all be very anecdotal and also be, you know, part of a social media uh, bias in what you look at. So it's always helpful to look at the actual stats,
Well, the
and that's
actual
the
stats,
value of this.
the actual stats and the numbers, and this is why, America's not perfect, but I'm tired of these blackity black activists that are going around saying that black people are oppressed in America. Like, have y'all ever been outside the country and touched grass in Africa? Have y'all ever gone to, parts of Asia or to the Caribbean or to South America? Black people in America are the most privileged fucking people that have ever existed in humanity. So to sit here and say that we're oppressed and the people got a foot on our neck and all this other bullshit, like, you have black people on this app with their own businesses that are homeowners, okay? You have black people on this stage with kids that finish college, right? So to sit here and say that, black America is so plighted. I think it's bullshit. And let me just tell you this. If you don't think that the literacy rate was higher following slavery than today, you are committed to stupidity. Because at the end of the day, black people knew how to read a fucking Bible. So you can't tell me that black people were illiterate, but knew how to read a fucking Bible following slavery.
Yeah, and I think
Yeah, Doctor.
even the stats on
Which,
that
well,
were
explain
something
this to me,
within
Adams.
5 years.
I drove down. I drove down to meet up with some family. We decided to go out to brunch on Saturday and Sunday. When we went out to brunch on Saturday, it was this little, kitschy, eclectic place, really high price menu and all that shit in the middle of town. Actually, middle of Orlando.
Nice.
We just left Briar Patch today.
Hold on,
Briar
hold on, hold
Patch
on,
and
hold on, hold on.
fucking
Somebody in the chat
goddamn it,
talking about who's trolling. First of all, okay, on my dad's side, we have recorded family written record. How the fuck are you gonna record a written record following slavery if you don't know how to read and fucking write?
yeah. Now, can somebody explain to me why, when we were sat next to the only group of black people in the entire brunch place, which admittedly was loud, plates are clanking, people are trying to talk, we had these three people. One of them was male, the other two were female, screaming at the top of their fucking lungs to talk to each other, like ear curdling screams. And when you would look at them while they were screaming, like, to hopefully see that they are acknowledging that they're bothering the fuck out of you, right? They enjoyed it.
Maybe they have a disability.
They
Maybe
enjoyed
their
being the
hearing
most
is.
loud, obnoxious.
Yo, man, but I took my wife to Outback a couple weeks ago, and we were sitting there.
Did you get the blooming onion?
Nah, man, I don't fuck with that blooming onion shit. But we hear this cell phone playing social media videos. Sound like someone was scrolling through social media. Full fucking volume, blaring through the entire fucking restaurant. Who do you think it was?
A
Bonquisha.
black female.
It
Yep.
was a black female. Yep, it was a. So eh, before she came in, everything had been quiet. It was a nice atmosphere. Everything had been good. She brings her black ass in this restaurant and decides, you know what? I'm gonna play social media on my phone. Fuck earpods or headphones or whatever. I'm gonna blast at full volume the shit I'm looking at on social media, so the entire fucking restaurant can hear it, bro. There was no disturbances in that restaurant until this black
So,
woman came in.
That's
so
usually
at
how it
work,
goes. I'm telling you. They pull up to the valet in their
we
Nissan
have we have
Altimas.
a joke. We have a joke at work. Black female policy. They had to change the policy and admonish people because people were with both uh, with both ears in, talking on the phone, moving down the hallways of headquarters, inside the jail, working out on patrol, having loud ass conversations. Roam. I think black females spend more hours of their conscious lives on the phone than off the phone.
That's true. Because when you
Oh
look at body
yeah,
cam footage of black men being pulled over and being arrested, they are fighting to get a hold of that phone. They will not let that phone go. Like police are like literally trying to armbar them and give them fucking pressure points to release the fucking phone out of it. There's like an addiction to this shit,
Or
bro. This
they'll
shit.
call somebody to talk about getting pulled over.
Exactly.
Hold on, I gotta
Exactly.
call
Yep.
my friend and tell him what a racist piece of shit you are.
Yep. Yeah. The first thing when
Hello,
the cop pulls up to the window, they're on the
Shaniqua,
fucking
you would
phone.
not
Yep.
believe what this racist, fat ass, busted ass, crusty motherfucking cop just said to me. He said I was speeding. I wasn't speeding. I was.
Well, it's the same thing with the schools too. Like when you see the video of the teachers trying to take away the phone, or the principal or the duty officer who's on campus, it's the same damn thing. The yelling, the screaming, give me my phone. Then next thing you know, you see box braid extensions flying all over the damn place, and Bonquisha's on top of the freaking English teacher, and it's mayhem. Like it's absolute mayhem.
Yeah, that was the
Yeah,
number one.
the first thing I do, like when I'm pulled over, is like, "I'm sorry, officer. What Can I help you? I'm sorry if I did anything
Here's
wrong.
my
Or actually, don't
license.
say that. I don't
Here's my
say I did anything wrong. I
registration.
said
Yeah,
right. And I
was
put my hands on the wheel. I put my lights on, and I was like, "There's no conflict at all."
yeah,
How can
Adams
how can I help you in the situation? Yeah.
when I was
Versus like people that are yelling, like
when I was volunteering at my kids' schools for all them years, Adams, that was the number one demographic that had problems. Anytime their kids were disciplined by the teachers for having fucked up behavior, it was hands down 100% of the
Fighting an
time
insubordinance.
the black fucking
Yep.
mothers coming up and trying to fight the fucking teachers over their badass kids disrupting the
Yep.
fucking class, bro. Every fucking time.
Yep.
And you know it's crazy
But they won't
because if you
show up
look at
for
if you look at
Parent
the
teacher
LA
conference, right?
if you look
exactly.
at the
PTA meetings. Yep,
if you
exactly.
look at the LA Unified School District numbers, you can clearly see like the causation as to why kids get suspended. Okay, you can clearly see black kids are getting suspended insubordination and fighting. You have the Latino kids that are getting suspended for drug dealing. You have the white kids that are getting suspended for drug possession. You see what I'm saying? Do you see where I'm going with this? Like it cuts right down the lines as to what we're saying.
I'm sorry, you got
Alan,
it
am I
all
wrong?
wrong.
Am I
Now,
wrong, Alan?
are you wrong? You're completely wrong. When the cops pull you over, the first thing you
I'm
do
talking
is you
about the.
start moving around the lot
No, no, no,
as
no,
he's
Alan. I'm
walking
talking,
up.
Alan. I'm being serious. I'm talking about the LA Unified School District numbers.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Um,
Does that now sound about right? The white kids are
it
getting thrown
sounds
out for
right, and
drug
let me
possession.
add to
The
it.
Alan,
Latinos for
weren't
Let,
you a
drug dealing.
teacher?
no,
No.
I was never a teacher. Let me add to it. I went to a party with a bunch of teachers, and this teacher had worked in both Calabasas, where the Kardashians live, and LA Unified downtown. She said when she taught downtown after class,
Are
um,
you talking about the Los Virgenes School District?
yeah,
The one
probably. I
by.
don't know the
Okay.
name. But no, when she was in LA Unified working downtown after class, and this was like, I don't know, 10-year-olds, whatever grade that is. After class, three boys come up to her from a certain specific demographic and start sticking their fingers in her pussy.
What?
Yeah.
this is crazy.
Yeah, and she's like beside herself, like they're grabbing her pussy, sticking their fingers. She ran out of there, and so she didn't teach there much longer. But all of that. You're absolutely right, Sig. It's the single mothers. You know, M-
Well, it's
my
not just
kid got in trouble.
Alan. It's not just the single mothers out here. I can't speak to where Sig lives because you do know that there are a lot of grandparents raising their damn grandkids in California.
Yeah, mommy and daddy got to be at home.
Mommy and daddy gotta be in jail.
Yeah,
It's called
they can't.
California State
Black
Prison.
people are violent gangbangers.
Yeah, well, they can't do that either. It's simple. You get a woman knocked up, you marry her and suffer for 20 years.
Well,
You
I
Because
know,
got
it's
I will say this:
not about
as much
right,
as
Sig?
yeah.
Black America complains, okay, Knuckles, to your point, you never see any infomercials asking to donate 10 cents a day to support black kids in the inner cities in the United States. So instead of worried about Black America, Knuckles, why don't you worry about that dusty, foot cooking ass mud hut village that you came from?
Well, I got one request for the white people. If a race war ever breaks out, just remember there are some good blacks. Okay, please don't take us all out. There are some good ones. So keep us in mind, please. I'm just saying.
I don't think there will be a race
How
war.
do
I
we
think
tell
like based on,
the difference? Be like, hey, what? Hey, quick question. What's the appropriate volume to use when talking to somebody in a movie theater?
Well, it's not the volume;
right,
it's
They'd be
the
like, I don't talk in
utilization.
the
Have a
movie
fucking
theater. I'd
litmus
be like,
test,
all right,
Mambo.
he's
Right.
good. Let him
It's
in. Let him
it's
in.
the
Right.
utilization of it's the utilization of proper English. So again, if you're speaking Ebonics, you're ghetto. I have nothing to say to you. But if you're speaking broken English, then you're a foreigner. So I definitely don't have anything to say to you. So I feel like that's kind of how you have to kind of discern.
Hey,
Nah,
if
Hey,
they
real
say
talk
if
though,
they
Now,
real quick, Alex.
how do
So
you,
here's this. Oh
Atoms?
man, Bill, let me hop in real quick, real. So this brings back to the top of the room. I try to be quick. They said the white. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the white patients thing. Do you guys see that some years ago, like 2 years ago, they had a white patients sign or whatever? If you are, I'll be brief. It was really ambiguous, but the bottom line is this subject in this video goes to that point because the black fatigue thing is real. And I think white people are tired of this shit. So to your point, Sig, I think it's real that some could happen soon because we don't know how many sleeper cells we're waking up. Not white people who are already racist, they've been that way for their whole lives, but motherfuckers who's either neutral or just kind of sitting back like I don't want them to do or feel like they got to get active. And to your point, I agree. I don't want to get caught up in the bullshit because black people are not in a position to win any fucking war, and we're just basically becoming enemies to ourselves and igniting a battle that's going to fucking eventually end us all. So I don't like that.
Amen. Man, Bill, here's how you tell. If they use phrases like I'm finna, they say finna.
Well,
If
there
they
are
say
people actively pushing for it.
if they say ask instead of ask, if they say I'm posta instead of I'm supposed to, if they say amber lamps instead of ambulance, those are your key identifiers, bro. So
No,
Yeah, but
there's a
it's not just
simpler
the way they
test.
talk. It's not just
Yeah,
it's not just that.
no, you can tell. You can always tell. It's that it's they the one people who, and this goes for everybody. Isn't that nice? I'm being so racially equanimitable, if that's a word. People who walk around with a chip on their shoulder, it always comes out, and it comes out very quickly. But there is a test too. You say mayonnaise, the best condiment of the century or the best condiment of all time. You ask them that question. You ask them about, okay, raisins in the potato salad. How do you feel about it? And then what are some of the other ones? Swimming pools. Do people, how do
Alan,
you feel about
just
swimming
because
pools?
I want a safe just because I want a safe base to ride out the apocalypse in does not mean I want the food there to be bland as shit.
or Alan, you ask them, do you use Cash App? Do you prefer Cash App or Venmo? That's another one.
Yeah, everybody who uses Cash App to the murder hole. Everybody with Cash App on their phone. Bye.
I'm still stuck on that visual on that the teacher like how the fuck does that happen? I mean it just
Trying
it
to imagine how
it's
she lets a 10-year-old say she kind
yeah,
of liked
it's
it,
fucking
but she can't
stupid.
say that.
God damn, it's
She let
fucking
three of them
stupid.
do it. At two, you draw the line. It's like fool me once, fool me twice. You kind of asking for it three times. Nah, you like that shit. See, grab him by the pussy.
Yeah, it's just I
They're
don't know.
just doing what their president told them to do.
By the way,
Shit.
those jokes, I never heard them until I came on Clubhouse. All of you corrupted me.
Oh, you should have been in the military, bro.
I
That's
see.
all we joked about, man. That's all we ragged on each other about. Yeah, I used to get off the fucking plane after doing a maintenance cycle and shit, and my Mexican buddies would like grab me and throw me against the plane and search me to make sure I wasn't stealing the radio or fucking shit like that, bro. It's fucking hilarious, man.
Oh yeah, Mr. George. You know that new guy on the crew? I don't think he's gonna work out.
Yeah, but I've always said, man, it's like the it's a minority of the blacks that are actually doing the fuck shit. The problem is that the majority of blacks support it and fucking condone it and back it up, man. That's until we start
Right.
getting black
They
people to
feel
fucking wake up.
they feel like they're willing to do the shit that they're not willing to do because they're not gonna fuck their life up. but they
Right.
want to see some kind of revenge or some kind of, well, that's what you get. That's what you get. You did all this shit in the past, and now this is the. But I don't think they make the mental connection, right? That if they condone it and support it, right, and provide cover to those people and go bail them out and make sure that they have fundraisers for stabbing kids with fucking uh, track spikes or whatever the fuck, cleat sharpeners. When you
No,
do
it was a
that
knife.
shit and you reach a level of fatigue in the other group of the population, right?
Manville, you're a cop.
That group of the population has
Manville,
people.
Manville, you're a cop. Let me ask you a question. Why the fuck would you need a track spike cleaner, okay, on an all-weather track? It's
No,
just
it
rubber.
was a
No,
knife.
no, 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 Alan.
It was a
Pause.
knife.
Alan, rest for a second. Okay, we're gonna dismantle this narrative right now. Why in the fuck would you need a track spike cleaner on an all-weather track? And for those of you who never ran track before, for those of you who have never been on a track, okay, an all-weather track is made out of rubber. Okay, the field in the middle of it was artificial turf. So what the fuck are we talking about? Like, people need to stop with this whole track spike cleaner. Stop it.
Yeah, and you know the other thing, the latest thing now I've seen in multiple videos.
It's just
The
like that bitch
the
that threw the
cop
pot at the cop. Like, I mean, I'm
the
just
co-
tired of it.
All right.
yeah, the cop comes up and he says, "Give me your license and registration." The appropriate response is, "Okay, officer." The first thing you see in these videos is the person says, "Why are you pulling me over? What did I do wrong? You shouldn't have pulled me over." Roll down the window. I'm not rolling down the window. Let me see your supervisor. It's from the get go, they're resisting, they're disobeying
Then as soon
commands.
as he asks him to step out of the car, he slams the door.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
We're talking about that video with the guy who got taken down. Yeah, exactly. It's the non-compliance starts from the get-go.
Well, this is why it
And
says a matter of low IQ, because if your ideal is that the cops are hunting you and they're targeting you and they're killing you in the streets like dogs, why the fuck would you antagonize them when you engage with them? The logic would be to survive the encounter, which is
Why
always the rule number
why
one.
would you
So the first thing,
why would
real,
you
real
be
quickly,
driving around?
yeah, no, well, this is what I do when the cops pull me over. 100% of the time, I don't care what the issue is. I don't say shit. I just hand them my ID. Hey, sir, how's it going? I don't say shit. I just, here you go, sir. You know why I stopped you? No, I know. I just shake my head like, no. And I say, all right, well, I'm just running your license. You had a light out or some shit, whatever. They come back to get my shit and I'll be on my way. This has worked for 15 years. Just a warning. I don't need to get a ticket. 15 years. I don't say a fucking word. If they ask me a question, hey, where you headed? Well, all due respect, I just want to be on my way.
See,
Oh, okay. You got to be to work or something? I just keep that shit.
y'all
Most
Go
of
ahead.
the
got
time
horrible
most
strategy,
of the
okay?
time with city cops, they're not going to give you a ticket.
Not
Most city
even
cops
just that.
are not going to give tickets to cooperative people.
Listen, if you just speak to a cop like a human being, okay, how's your day? You know what I mean? Like, at least, I mean, unless you're doing something egregious, that's a whole nother story. But there's no reason to sit there and go back and forth with the cop. Like, when I got my DUI 15 years ago, like, the cop and I were laughing, going back to the police station. Like, it is what it is. Like, why am I going to fight with this man? Like, I fucked up. I did something stupid. I'm going to jail. Like, why am I going to fight with this man? Like, people need to learn to be freaking reasonable.
Because if you grow
Do you
up
know how many
with a
people? What?
oh no, I was going to
It's
say
always
no, go ahead.
it's always a black female in these videos, but there are some like body cam channels that are dedicated to just women getting arrested for being obnoxious, and the vast majority of them are told to either leave or stop antagonizing, getting into some sort of fight. They then ignore that advice, then immediately tell the officer as soon as they grab him to put handcuffs on him, no, 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 I'll stop. I didn't know you were serious. I'm sorry, I'll stop. And at that point, it's too late. And then they go to jail kicking the divider and the doors of the police car and screaming bloody murder into the cop's ear the whole way to the jail, and then
For
acts
what?
surprised when he throws the book at them and charges them with 4 or 5 things because they pissed him off so much.
So
And
let
one of
me
the
tell you
key things they
something. Let
do
me tell
that's
you
fucked up,
something.
real quick, Adams. The one of the key things is goes into this is they're the number one people that lie about their fucking name, which I don't understand. It's the dumbest shit ever. They're gonna find out who the fuck you are. They always lie about their name and it comes back and it's just an extra charge to become the felon. It's stupid. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say. So, and mind you, like the context of like when I got my DUI, I went to LA County. So like I don't know if anybody has ever been to an LA County jail. Like that is one of the worst jails in the country, right? So yes, I was less worried about the cops and more worried about like who the fuck I was gonna be in jail with until the morning comes and they let me out. So like you know what I mean? Like it's one of those things. I was also more concerned about my parents and what they were gonna do to me as well because I was like what like 21 at the time.
How
So
how
yeah, no,
was how was the drunk tank at the LA County jail?
oh, it was horrible. And it wasn't just a drunk tank. So I was in a cell with a guy where they brought him in on a warrant. He was laying in bed with his girlfriend, and he had warrants. Now, that wasn't the sensational part. The sensational part is the fact that he took a bat to her face. She went back to him, and when they arrested him for the charges that she brought against him, they were laying in bed together. So I mean, those are the type of people that I was in with for I think it was
How
like
long do you
12
have to
hours.
stay there for?
It was like
12
12
hours?
hours. Yeah.
I remember like having
Damn.
to go like spend 2 nights like my senior year in high school, and I had turned 18, but like they have like the city jail, or like it's not really a jail, it's like a police station. But then like in the
You
morning,
have city jail, county, then prison.
So let me tell
and
you.
then in the
So
Wait,
morning
you
I
had to
had to
spend
go to the
overnight,
so
I
no.
Pepe?
did. I did. So
Damn.
So
I had to go then, like I had court, and then I had to go to like the Maricopa County jail. So like they had the downtown jail where it's like central, I guess where everybody gets booked, and they kept on like moving you from like a series of like tanks, and there's like I don't know maybe 30 people in each tank, but it was like. I look like I was like 14 when I was 18. So everybody's like, "Oh, dude,
You needed a better lawyer. No
Did they
offense.
have you in Tent City? That famous Tent
No, that's
City?
you have to be convicted to go to Tent City back when it was open. But no, I just remember like being in there, and then like you'd have people mouthing off to each other. There's like bums peeing, like literally wet, like just. There's one dude, he just like peed while he was sleeping, and it was going everywhere. And there's like this one guy, he didn't speak English, and like he's in there, and you could tell that he's like pissed, and he's like pacing back and forth. Then he just like runs and jump kicks the fucking glass, like there's these huge glass windows, and he's yelling in Spanish. And somebody said, "Oh, he got violated parole because he got caught with weed or some shit." I'd be mad too, but I just remember like being 18 in there, and I was just like, "Dude, I do not want to be
no,
around
my
these fucking
mom.
people again."
Why'd
I
you go
was
there in
I
the first
was
place?
I was freshly 21, and my mom made me walk from the fucking jail over to the Ritz Carlton because she's like, I don't go into L.A. Like this place is ghetto. So it was horrible, absolutely
Oh,
horrible. No, it was horrible. Like I'm telling you,
poor
this was
Dr. Adams.
Am,
yes,
am I am
yes.
I am I the only one on this stage that hasn't been to jail? Am I the only one on this stage that doesn't commit crimes?
Amazing.
um,
I've never been to jail.
Okay, so we're the only two.
Well,
The rest of
I've
these
worked
people have
I've
committed
worked
some
in a
form of
jail,
crime.
but I've never been
well,
arrested.
That's not
just
necessarily
don't
true.
get.
You can go to jail without committing a crime. You can be charged of a crime but still be innocent of it. So just because you go to jail
Exactly.
don't mean you're
Thank
Yeah,
guilty of
you.
a
so
I
crime.
Yeah,
was
I
TM
got
just shut. So
misdemeanor.
TM
I
I
just shut
wouldn't
the
have
never
fuck
even
felt
up.
gotten
guilty.
arrested,
Thank
but
you.
I was used to being like, I got arrested as a juvenile quite a bit, but I like was like mouthing off to the cops basically, and they're just like, "All right, disorderly conduct,
Yeah,
underage
because
drinking."
unfortunately, rich white kids they get in trouble too.
Yeah, but
But
Pepe,
that's like a super petty offense. It had like a $500 bail.
So,
no, it's not. It's not a petty
do
offense.
you
Can I
guys
just say
know
this
Yeah,
real
it
quick?
is.
Can I just say
Adams?
this real quick, and I'll let you
You
go.
you know about
See, you wanna brush over it. I hate these videos that you post, and these people. I wish like they
Bro,
could
would
all
you
die.
would
But
you
then
be
I also
quiet? Like, and Manville was trying to ask a question. Go ahead, Manville.
yeah.
okay. Let
So
people
Adams,
who've gone to jail
He's a
speak. Let people.
mod.
you know
He's a
about
mod, and he's also a cop. He adds more value to the stage than you do. Be quiet.
Oh my God!
Go
Stop it!
ahead.
Just stop it.
you know about Forsyth County, Georgia, right?
Who are you asking the question
Uh,
to?
you
I'm
know,
listening to
you
you. I'm
familiar
listening
with
to you.
the Windermere neighborhood in Forsyth?
And
You ever
are
drove
you
through
talking
there?
about like? Are you
You're
talking
not.
about in
Just say
Florida?
no. Don't try to act like a know-it-all. Just say
Are you
no.
talking
You
about
don't
like
know.
Windermere, Florida?
No,
Like
no, no,
up
not
towards
not
Orlando?
Windermere, Orlando.
He doesn't know.
Windermere Parkway in Forsyth County, Georgia.
Oh no.
It's
Like I
near
don't fuck
it's
with
near
Georgia
Johns
like that.
Creek.
I don't fuck with Georgia. Oh,
Oh,
so you're talking about like
I
John
know you
Creek? Is
done.
there?
I know you
That's
done
going
some
out
real
towards like
estate up there.
Roswell and like
You
out
don't
out
travel
towards like the
anywhere, brother.
outside of Atlanta.
Yeah, it's off.
Okay.
Never
It's
been
off the
anywhere.
400. Yeah, but a
Why,
nice. It's
wait,
a
wait,
really
hold on
nice
one
area.
second. Why is this monkey? Okay, like freaking. What do you mean don't travel anywhere?
It's
I've
Well,
it's
driven.
it's
Excuse
so
me.
easy. It's
I've
so
driven from
easy.
Santa Monica to Miami. Okay, and when I came back, I went through Colorado and Utah. What the
Listen
fuck
to
are you
this
talking about?
emotional guy. You're
That's
so
No,
funny.
rude. It's
because you
easy.
don't
That's
know me,
funny.
bro.
It's easy
You
That's
to
don't
travel
know
Okay,
funny,
me,
hold on a
bro.
doctor.
second. All right,
very erratic.
It's real
TN,
funny. Doctor calls
TN,
someone a monkey when he's half primated.
yeah,
Control your
TN,
emotions.
yeah, TN. Shut your monkey mouth for a second. But yeah, I was 18. I mean,
so the point.
I haven't
You're a
been in trouble with
violent
the law
person.
in like I don't know what is that 25 years.
You're a
Amazing.
violent
And
person. You're someone
what
I
I didn't
wouldn't
get charged with the
respect.
violent crime. I got charged with disorderly conduct and underage drinking.
Why are you
Amazing.
mouthing off to cops?
So
There's
Because
no
I
place for
because
that.
I thought it was
my
funny and I
point.
was
It's
drunk.
not funny. Don't do it again.
It
My
was
my
kind of
point
funny.
was that Forsyth County
Why are
has the
you at the gym and you're
reputation
still
of
not
being.
toned?
I
It's
am
just
toned.
funny. It's
All
just
right, let
funny.
No,
Manville
again.
finish. Let
No,
Manville
you're not.
finish.
So
All right.
this is the place you don't want to speed. You don't want to get pulled over in. They are super about their traffic. They will chase you to the ends of the earth. Doesn't matter if you're in a Hellcat, a motorcycle, a BMW. They don't give a shit. They will chase you down and pit you. Also, like everything else, kind of zero tolerance. You go around Forsyth, like Gorilla just got arrested because she had weed in her house when they responded to a home invasion call. They have
It's
zero tolerance for any
Glorilla.
kind of
It's
criminal activity.
So
Glorilla.
does
See,
they have a
you just
weed
wanted to
tolerance
call a black
there?
woman gorilla so badly. It's
But if
Glorilla.
Listen, bro, this we know who
whatever.
she is. Manville. So do they
So
have a
she
tolerance
she
of
been
weed?
arrested twice.
Or she been arrested
Zero
twice.
tolerance.
Okay, so that's a state. That's a
She
county
was arrested
that
for
she.
DUI.
Okay, so it shouldn't be no argument if
She
that
was in
county.
her house. She was in her
That's
house.
not. This
She was in
wasn't
her
my
It's not.
point.
house.
That
She was in
wasn't
her
my
house
point.
and
Doctor!
please. Like are y'all cause
Doctor,
y'all fucking like
This
this is
wasn't my point.
misinformation.
I'm trying to get to
My
where he's
point
talking about,
was
man.
She was in her
that
house. She
my
called the police and they
my
found weed in her closet.
Okay, let Manville finish.
right. She was in possession of weed.
In her own
So,
fucking house.
So
so wait a minute. So
in Forsyth County, Georgia. God damn it.
Doctor, you have the emotional maturity of a child. You're
in
prone to
Georgia,
You gotta
violence.
and
know
I
better
know
than that.
You come
Georgia,
off like someone that's prone to
yeah,
violence.
and I know Georgia, Manville, they still don't. They didn't legalize
You can
marijuana in that
keep
state, correct?
you better keep that grass inside the 285 beltway if you don't want to get arrested
Yeah,
for it.
yeah,
Anyway,
Georgia
Okay, I
still don't
got it.
weed. Weed's
I
not
got
legal.
it.
So
Okay,
weed's
okay.
not legal there.
Yeah,
So
not here. Yeah.
so
and
without hit with the.
you better keep the fuck shit inside 285 also. My point
Oh.
was that my neighbor who's a
Mm-hmm.
crazy baseball mom has a son that plays very high level travel baseball, still in high school. He was driving on Windermere in Forsyth County, his little
Mm-hmm.
BMW 4 Series. And
Mm-hmm.
there's a part of that road that has a speed limit of like 45, 50 miles an hour
Mm-hmm.
that comes down a very big hill and it feels like a 55, 60 mile an hour highway. It's got a big median, it's got two lanes on either side. It
Oh,
feels
damn.
like a fast route the way
So
you
it's a,
drive
and
it,
then it has
right?
that
Through
downdrop,
a
that
nice
hill.
neighborhood.
Yeah.
So they got that big hill, and at the bottom of that hill was a Georgia State Patrol trooper.
Mm. 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 Mm.
Now, troopers from the Georgia State Patrol, uh, they have no humor, they have no reasonableness, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
just business to them. If you see that car pulls out on you, you're either getting a ticket or you're getting thrown into a wall.
Mm.
So he pulled him over. He wrote him a ticket. He got him for like 75 in a 45 or some shit, right?
Mm. Mm-hmm.
And he was pretty much leading a pack of traffic that was all coming down the hill and all with him. He just picked out the M Sport 4 Series instead of going after the fucking soccer mom cars. So the cop pulls him over, writes him the ticket. He goes into juvenile court Forsyth County charged him with a misdemeanor, puts him on probation, has him write an essay to the judge and do 40 hours community service.
Uh-huh.
And he's on probation for a year. And the judge, the prosecutor doesn't even want to go after this kid. The prosecutor's chill, like this is his first offense. He was speeding. He'll pay a fine. The judge is like, oh no, why does he still have a license? Why does he still have a license? We should take his license.
Mm.
And if the mom hadn't have brought a fucking lawyer to the actual hearing to argue on their behalf, well, he probably would have lost his license through that whole ordeal too, over
How,
one
Mm-hmm.
fucking speeding ticket on a
how
kid
old
with
was he?
zero fucking record. My point is, he was in that courtroom with a bunch of YNs wearing fucking slides, committing all kinds of God knows what juvenile shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Mr. Blonde haired, blue eyed baseball star driving his daddy's BMW that he got for him, right, is getting put on probation for a year over one speeding ticket.
That don't make no
That's what
sense.
How
the
old was he?
I
How
don't. I
fast
it
was he
don't.
going?
that's
How
that's
fast was he going,
It makes
Manville?
Forsyth County.
perfect sense.
But they don't. A
That's
ticket shouldn't.
Forsyth County.
How fast
But
was he going, Manville?
a
Perfect
ticket shouldn't warrant you
sense.
being on probation.
It was
I can
How
see
fast
it's
was he
community
like
going,
service
Manville?
75 and a it's like
in a
75 and a
45,
50.
in a 50.
How old was
20
he?
miles over the speed limit?
That's criminal
Like, are you
speeding
fucking
in
crazy?
you
Like,
in
Manville,
Arizona.
shut up. Like,
Yeah, that is
shut up.
criminal speeding. That
How
is like you couldn't get away with that in California. Like,
Exactly.
yeah, you couldn't.
I got
Like,
a ticket going 40 in a
Well, hey, I
25.
was
Like that shit is like you
I was
can't do
going
that shit.
through
that
I
makes
was going through
perfect sense.
Tonopah. I was going through Tonopah, Nevada, and I blew by a deputy sheriff sitting at the bottom of a hill where the speed limit drops down to 25 miles an hour, some stupid shit.
Well, I
And
mean,
I was going
depending
like
on the road
45.
conditions and the time of the day, that could be reckless driving.
Oh my God! Finish your thought after other people talk. Jesus.
So he pulls me over. We get to talking, and what he did, right, was he knocked the ticket down. Oh, I'm only going to write you for 10 miles an hour over. Then what I did is I retained an attorney to represent me in Nevada, and the prosecutor's office made a deal with my attorney that I
hmm
would pay a fine for illegal parking and not get a ticket with points on my license. So I paid a
right.
higher fine for illegal parking rather than pay for the speeding ticket, which was already reduced because I know how to talk to law enforcement.
That's because you had law. Not only you have a law enforcement background, you had a lawyer to represent you, to represent your case. A lot of people don't have are not fortunate to afford to get a lawyer to represent their case. So,
A
for,
ticket clinic lawyer costs the same amount of money as paying for the ticket. It's a buck 25.
mm,
Talking
okay.
correctly to law enforcement is not rocket science.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm. Hey,
He's
sir,
making a
I
dig at
wasn't
me.
aware
Amazing.
of the speed limit change. I'm sorry. Uh, Definitely won't happen again. You're right. It's dangerous. Here's my information. That's all you
where
need.
where are you out of?
And the
You said
guy's gonna work
Nevada.
with you.
You said Nevada.
That happened to be it. It's a known speed trap. If you're driving through there, it's on the way to California from Vegas,
Yeah, that's going through
especially
the
if you're going
Mojave
like through
Desert.
Reno and Herb.
It's like if you're going to Vegas, it's another one like that.
I've
Reno,
never had
not too
It's
that
bad.
problem.
Hold
it's
on.
the
Reno's not too bad.
closest.
I drove to Reno numerous of
It's
times.
the closest
Um,
Yeah,
town to Area
I'll tell
51.
it. Uh-huh.
but Las
Yeah,
Vegas,
Tonopah's like smack dab in the middle of Nevada.
going through Mojave Desert from California to Las Vegas is a tricky spot. I don't know if it's a gravitational pull because the fucking triangle's right there in the desert. Something about that is a magnetic gravitational pull that's down there making you go fast. I
The fuck
literally
are you
had to
talking
slow.
about?
Excuse me, shut the fuck up while I'm
Where?
talking.
I'm sorry. Where do you live?
Just let him finish, doctor.
Damn,
Goddamn.
dude, shut the fuck up, bro. Like I was driving from fucking the Bay to Las Vegas, and when I got down past through Barstow, when you go through the fucking desert, it feels like
Uh-huh.
the fucking gravitational pull is pulling you because I had to
That's
literally slow my car down, and I couldn't fucking slow down. I was doing 100, and
uh
I wasn't even trying to. So it's like you
yeah.
got the fucking triangle over there, which Area 51 ain't too far from. I'm telling you, that place is a mysterious, mystic place. That's all I'm saying.
And
Yeah, good video.
from my experience, I felt that shit because everybody else that used to tell me that drove through there before was talking about you got to try to slow down because you be going fast, and I'm like, how the fuck you can't slow down?
When
So
you
when I experienced that, I tried to slow down as much as I can, but something was pulling me, and then I see the fucking highway patrol before I crossed the border. They got on the freeway ahead of me, slowed down to me, and told me to slow down. I said, I'm trying. It was just a weird feeling. It really
yeah,
was.
when you said something was pulling you, was that the highway patrol?
No, no. What I'm saying is, it felt like some kind of magnetic gravitational.
How did you
See, he
not
trying to
get?
be.
Oh my
No,
god!
I'm not trying to play. I got what he said. That's gay. I'm not responding to stupid shit.
What
What I'm
can
saying is,
I
bro,
want
can
to
you shut
go?
the fuck up while I'm talking, bro?
Yeah, you've made the like three comments.
That lets me know
We
you're
don't
not
care
a
about your
man. You're in a
trucking
place.
adventures, bro. Like
I'm not a
I wanna
truck
get a
driver,
point
dog.
across.
Dude, can y'all shut him up while I'm talking, bro? Because that's rude as fuck. I've
Well,
never
they
did
haven't
that to
shut
you,
me up.
bro.
Okay, well I've let you talk. I let you talk. You like made the
Man,
All
point.
right,
shut
well,
the
shut
fuck
the
up. You
fuck
keep.
up.
Thank you.
Well,
Damn. You know what? You know what? Go ahead, you guys. I'm not doing this immature shit with this
okay,
kid.
thank you, thank you. This is all I
Okay.
wanted to say.
Shut the fuck up, dude. Ain't no thank you,
People,
bitch.
and it's not a
I'm
dig
gonna
at
talk
anybody on the
over you while
stage.
you're
I
talking. I
thought you
see
weren't
how
gonna
that feels.
You're
talk.
not
See
even a
how that
funny troll,
feels?
Tien. So go ahead. What do you have to
Exactly.
say? Like, what do you have to say?
Thank
You're
you.
not.
And
Nobody's gonna laugh. You. We're just gonna
And
think you're
Sam,
fucking
go on
retarded.
mute.
I
All
swear
that
to you,
sex
Pepe,
spraying y'all doing on here, y'all some
my
faggots. Just to let
agenda
you
is to
know that.
make
Sam, go
nobody
on
on this
mute, you
stage
dummy.
laugh. Okay,
Go
so
on mute, you fool. Go.
here's yeah, thank you. Here's what I want to say. I
He's
want to
not
say
on
that
mute. He's going.
I'm talking to you, bitch.
anybody who's been in the juvenile system cannot be trusted because as an adolescent to be exposed to that level of crime, the level of mischief,
Oh Jesus
it's
Christ! I'm
Oh,
out of
I
here
like
knew you were
like
anyway.
gonna
I'll
take
see
like
a
if you
y'all
dig at
keep
me. You're
that
later.
to
such a
yourself,
dumbass,
I would
dude.
judge
I'll
you.
see y'all later, man. Jesus Christ.
You're such a
You
fucking idiot.
you're untrustworthy as a person.
Okay.
You're juvenile and you're in prison.
Shut the fuck up.
I know I struck a nerve, but
But I mean, I don't know what to say to that.
yeah,
It's
because you can't
stupid.
be on stage with guys like us who've never committed crimes and trying to have a high morale like us when you've
High
been to juvenile.
morale.
What the fuck are you talking about, dude? I have a
High
fucking
morale,
federal felony,
morals,
asshole.
not morale.
I know this is it's fucking low IQ dumb nigger. But sorry.
Pepe, you should travel more. You're on Clubhouse way too much. I think it's like causing brain rot.
What country do you? What is the beautiful country you come from? I don't
No,
really.
I was born
Somewhere
and
in
raised
Africa.
in America, and I actually live in Africa, and I do really good business in Africa, and you
Oh,
should
cool.
come visit one day.
Yeah, maybe.
And I'm still a law-abiding citizen there,
Very
like I
good.
was in America.
Very good.
But Pepe is concerned about getting his head chopped off on the internet, so he might need some considerations for traveling there.
My
Well,
thing is,
I
As
just
one
think
would
of
reason.
malaria. I think of cholera. I think of salmonella. I think of all the
Can't
things
drink the
that.
water.
It's just like a bunch, and it's like if I do get sick when I'm there, it's like, what kind of health care do you have? Oh, then you get septicemia just for some like
Fuck all.
routine stitches. I mean, it's just like, wow.
those are fair concerns. There's
And
so many remedies to that. There's
they
vaccines.
don't believe in condoms, so all the whores in town have AIDS.
Well, I mean, you can. The stats are worldwide. I mean, you just
Well,
wrap
no,
yourself
do you
up
want to see
and you should be all
where
right.
the well? You guys still have wow. I mean, we can look at a lot of the things, but I mean, if we look at like the spread of disease, I mean,
Uh,
like the petri dish of the world, and I'm not. This sounds harsh, but it is true. Is Africa
mm,
literally? It's Africa. That's where disease is rampant.
all right. And as a healthy guy like
Ebola,
myself, how is that any of
fucking
my business?
AIDS,
That's none of my business.
dengue fever.
Live there, you should be worried.
It's it's like obesity and the inability for a lot of Americans to keep food out of their mouths is none of my business.
Healthy. You're not
Doctor eats
healthy.
all the time. I don't bitch about his
You're
fucking
not
fat
healthy.
problem.
Yes, and I just came back from the gym, right? So I went
Ah,
to the gym.
we
Thank
don't
you.
believe it.
I came back at 11 o'clock last night. I was on Clubhouse, and guess what? I woke up at 10 o'clock this morning. Went from 11 to now to right now. So at the end of the day, don't sit here and tell me. See, when I look at your PTR,
It's calorie deficit that's more
I
important.
look at a fat boy in distress, right? Your body looks like it's confused over whether it wants to be obese or whether it wants to be toned.
But it is toned. Are you blind?
No, the fuck it's not. You got
Are you
chubby
blind?
elbows, bro.
What
Like,
is
what
the
the fuck are you
flag?
talking
So
about?
what kind of African are you?
Or did you when did you stop taking geography class?
I
Figure it
don't
out.
memorize flags. We didn't have to do that in geography.
I did.
Amazing. So are you going to say it, or you
Yeah, sure. I'll
just don't
help
want to?
you. I'll educate you. It's Cameroon, and I
Cameroon.
don't. But I don't live in Cameroon. I just happen to be a first
Where do you live in
generation.
Africa?
Another shithole country.
I'm not telling you guys.
Would you
I'm not
live in
telling you guys. You
Cameroon?
guys are too. You guys are too idle. You probably dox me.
Would
Really?
you
You
live
guys?
in Cameroon, Ian, or no?
I mean, I have zero
No, I don't live
connections
there.
in
I don't live there.
Cameroon, or Africa in general. So, I mean, I
Listen, Pepe, my only interest in Africa is that the white people are protected. Okay, there is a white genocide that's going on.
What a
Okay,
crazy
these black
statement.
people. No, there is. There is a white genocide
Guy's
going on in
idle.
South Africa, and nobody is talking about it.
there's not a white genocide
There
there.
is a white genocide going on in
No,
South. Yes, there is.
there's violent rhetoric, but the those white people that are getting killed, it's almost all robberies. If you look at if you look at the demographics of the murder statistics in South Africa, the overwhelming majority of the murders are black on black. But of course, there's a they're less likely to be, if you're white, you're less likely to be killed. However, they do. There's a lot more black on white murders as opposed to white on black. But the
Have you?
farmers in particular, so you have like the people that live in areas of South Africa near the cities where it's like really well guarded and all that, and those people you can't really go in and rob them. But if you're a farmer and live in a rural area, those people are a lot more vulnerable. So
So
Wow.
Pepe, let me.
they'll rob them and kill them.
No, listen. So I'm talking about, okay, NBC did a special on this, y'all. It's called The Real Housewives of Johannesburg. Okay, and all the black women just attacked the one white woman on that show. I'm telling you, there is a genocide happening in
Okay.
South
First
Africa.
of all,
Okay,
Nancy Adams did
genocide
I
that.
happening
live
in
in
South Africa.
Johannesburg.
Y'all,
I live in
y'all are
Johannesburg.
being
You don't know what
built
the
out of
fuck you're
billions of
Why are
talking
you
about.
dollars,
yelling? Would you shut up
donating
yelling?
because I want
Use
the
your inside voices. Like
I
seriously.
want
This
the
guy's a
money
child.
laundering to stop. Okay, y'all
These are
y'all
these.
bilk Christian conservatives out of billions of dollars. Okay, in the middle of Joel Osteen's freaking televangelist broadcast, asking, okay, for people in Africa who are suffering. Okay, donate 10 cents a day to these little black babies with I'm sorry, African babies with bloated bellies. Why aren't you donating 10 cents a day for the white people in Africa who are facing genocide?
Well, first of all, Pepe, I'm shocked. I've never ever said this, but I live in Johannesburg, and Pepe is actually right. Most murders in South Africa are due to just nominal high rates of crime. Right, the same person that would rob me would rob the white guy.
And
And let
by
me
the
tell you
way, there
something.
is no
The
Real
white South
Housewives of
African is
Johannesburg.
different.
It's actually Durham. But again,
Yeah, it's
I'm glad
Durban.
that you finally admitted that you're from South Africa. Thank
Well,
you.
I'm
That's
not.
why I said it. That's why I
I'm
said
not
it, because I'm
from.
smarter than you. Because I'm smarter than you.
If
I
that's him
listen
in
to
his
language
picture, he
patterns.
doesn't look really like he's Khoisan or
Yeah,
anything.
I'm not. Doctor, you gotta take like calm down, brother. You don't when you show a level of emotional immaturity, then that's how people are gonna like treat you. But anyways, the point I'm making is Pepe's right. And by the way, you're caping for white people in South Africa. They're not the same type of white guy in America. They're just, a lot of them are lazy.
Excuse me, the
The
wealthiest
average white South
African
African is
American
very
is South
lazy, and
African.
they're
Yes,
they're
we
trying to
should be protecting South Africa.
they were trying
Apparently,
to
they bring America brilliant talent.
they were trying to con President Trump into giving them a visa to come to America. Those are the lazy do good. They're the ones you'd be mad at if they were here. So, what are you protecting? They're like you
Yeah,
should be
I know.
proud of your American.
Wait, I'm
60
confused. What
60
do we?
white people from Africa. Oh my God. It's an invasion. They're doing a con job. 60 people. And that white only community, there's like 60 of them there. They're going to overrun and change the entire rhetoric of the United States and
I
the
don't think that's
entire
that's not the point
dynamic.
I'm making.
Oh
They're
my
just not going
God.
to be
What
they're not
terrible
going to be
people.
The
productive.
outrage.
What
60 more
horrible.
unproductive people in
Well, I
America.
would
Yeah,
say this to
yeah.
be fair. They're
Oh,
like the
yeah. Compared to the, yeah,
South
but
Africans are
compared to the
probably the
20
most,
million useless that came over,
So Pepe,
nah,
let
I
me
think
and the
that's
Pepe.
South
enough.
Well, you
Africans are
know,
probably the like some of the most easy to assimilate just because they speak English. South Africa, a little bit of a different history, but they're culturally the
They're
whites I would say are
civilized.
similar to others in the Anglosphere. So
And,
It's
Pepe,
and
just
that's what we want. We want
Pepe, if you want to look
assimilation.
at the
Yeah.
numbers, okay, we want success and we want a healthy tax base, right? So if you want to like talk about African billionaires, right? How many African billionaires have ascended to the level as African American Elon Musk? Okay, how many?
Wake it
Let's look
up,
at
Adam.
let's
well.
look.
To be fair, Doctor, why do Africans, especially West Africans, do so much better than you blacks in the United States?
You want to know why? Because they adopted white culture, literally.
Oh
Well,
wow.
well, well, well. I mean,
Whoa.
most wealthy black person in America, black. We're not talking about African and Caribbean. Okay, Mr. Stewart. Let's have a conversation with him.
Well, I don't know. Like when you go to the doctor and there's a guy with a funny looking accent, is like his last name's like Dickumwabwe or some weird fucking shit. Like a lot of these are like Igbo
Listen,
what do you call those? What are the other ones?
I will
The
say,
Igbo and
doctor.
the bigger one,
Yoruba,
Doctor.
Hausa.
Yoruba. Like
Aruba.
these
So
people actually have like their own. I know. Alan was
I hear you
joking, but
screaming.
they because
No, no,
dude, stop talking
I
over me.
wasn't joking. I
No, no.
wasn't joking.
But I would say that no. I think like they have culturally. I mean, it seems like they have like their own class, and they have a class of people that do really well, and they're very disciplined with their children and how they raise them, and that's why they come here, and they're cause,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
just like the upper caste Indians that come here and
But
do really
why do
well.
you keep
Well, the
comparing
thing is,
black Americans to Africans? Like, they're not the same people.
yeah, we should compare him to China.
And especially not
Chinese.
30 years later, because again, a good majority of those said black Africans are being invaded by Arab countries. So that's why, a lot of them are coming to, the United States name Ahmad and Muhammad and all this other bullshit. So again, like the black people in Africa are not the same black people in Africa that were from the 90s. It just simply does not exist the same way.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
interesting.
Nigeria was, I believe it's like become more Muslim now.
Yeah, yeah, and Somalia, you got a lot of Somalis in
Well,
Maine,
but even, yeah, but
up in Maine,
Nigeria, yeah, but Nigeria wasn't that way. It
Tunisia,
is now.
Well, Nigeria,
and
I thought is like a split country. It's Christian.
Mauritania,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Algeria. Like, I mean, let's keep listing the names. And listen, I don't want to turn this into a Palestinian petting zoo bash Islam. But what I am saying is a lot of the people that, embody this whole, well, you should support Africans because we're part of a diaspora and they're still black. No, you're not. Y'all have blended in and become fucking Arabs. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm worried about the black people in Chicago. I'm not worried about the black people in the Serengeti.
no,
Okay,
no,
and
wait,
and
wait,
I
wait.
hope and I hope you
I'm
actually are of some service. I hope you
no, I
be of
wouldn't
some
say
service.
Arabs. I would say Islamic.
You know,
Which comes from
you
where, Sam?
you're
Oh
worried
no,
in
I know, but there's
theory.
a difference because not all
Yeah, the
Islamics.
Nigerians are not fucking Arab. I mean,
Yeah,
Well,
there's a huge difference.
some of them are
Thank you.
actually.
You don't think that
Yeah,
after 30 years
heavily.
later, Pepe, we're not looking at like our
When I see
understanding
Boko
of what our
Haram, I
former
see a bunch of
we're
I
not
see a bunch
going
of
to our formal
I see a
Wait,
bunch
understanding
of
what's
of who
black
Boko
Arabs
people.
are
Haram?
within the last
Is it
30
not a bunch of
years.
Muslims?
This is a new
Yeah,
different
but they're
world,
black.
Pepe.
They're
This
not
is a new
Arab.
world, Pepe.
yeah. Don't conflate that.
They're like Arab adjacent,
I
right?
mean, the Arabs would still say, "Oh, you're a Mohammedan, amazing. You're gonna be my slave now, you stupid Abid. No, here, put on this collar."
Yeah,
Like,
they act like they essentially act like Muhammad, right? Like it's the same shit. It's the same religion, just terrorized in a different region of the country or of the globe, right? So what's the
Well,
difference between
it's right. It's the software.
right? That's a good way to put it. It's a software.
Yeah,
But
but
again,
people, somebody said they're more worried about the violence in Chicago. Are you worried in theory, or like, how do you
in theory,
provide yourself any
they're not
service?
doing shit
Yeah,
about
Who
you
it.
said
just
They're not.
violence in
talk.
Chicago? I said I'm more worried about the quality of life of people in Chicago, and you're talking about violence.
Well, the quality of life is synonymous with violence.
No, it's not because everybody in Chicago is not violent.
Well,
well, what is
Quality of
it?
life.
What is this saying? Manville's not here, but it's like in the homicide departments, like this week's or last week's suspect, this week's victim. Like these people are known to. I mean, often these people that get killed, these young ends, they've got a few bodies on them as well. Like there was that. there's that popular what the fuck was the name of those little shits, these rappers in, it's like Tallahassee or somewhere in fucking Florida.
Like Julio Folio
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Jacksonville.
And these guys are like making rap songs about the people they've killed, and like it's just like a huge long list. And like a couple of them have been killed. That Folio guy just got killed, right, in the last year.
Yeah, he's
Julio?
dead. He's dead.
And he made a rap song with listing like 30, 40 fucking people that got smoked by his gang, and mocking them. And
Okay. And Elvis married a 14-year-old girl. So what is
well,
your
well, what my point is though is that like,
three young
yeah,
girls?
shut the fuck up, Adams. God damn. The point is that by the time like this guy got killed, like he's already got a bunch of bodies under his belt. Like none of those black young men were innocent. Like people like, oh no, why did they have to die so young? Because they were hanging out with a bunch of killers and they're killing people, and then they ended up getting killed. That's it went full circle.
Yep, that's right. Live by the sword, die by the sword.
And we're not even talking about like disrespect and ops anymore. Like they literally went in a music video, they went to the cemetery where the little kid died and they dug up like his grave
What?
as a diss. That's
That's a
how that's how demonic these people are. Like and then we're talking about oh yeah, inner city people, let's save them, let's save them. There's inner city people already doing the work and they get killed every single day being around these young ends, right? What are we supposed to do about this issue? We can't help them. They don't want to be helped, right? So you can say, oh well, there's black people in the inner city that need help. Yes, we understand that, but at the same time, they're making music videos in cemeteries, making diss tracks about dead teenagers, right?
Well, I think there is a solution, but it wouldn't work in a free country. Like, I'm pretty sure if you go to Cuba, you don't see black gang members anywhere. You don't see them selling drugs. They're not unemployed. They're not doing any of that shit because they would be
Have you
put in
been
a.
to Cuba?
No, I have friends who've been there,
Got it.
but they would be put in. They actually are pretty strict. You're not going to allow gangs and that kind of shit, especially out in the open. But they no, I mean they will lock you up. Period. I mean that was kind of the case in a lot of the communist countries.
Yeah, but
Well,
you see that's racist.
well, and we used to be, punishments used to be more harsh here, but every 20, 30 years or so, we get this push from the left how we have to be compassionate and understanding of the circumstances, why a perpetrator might be driven to, I don't know, uh, you know, beat his girlfriend with a baseball bat in the face. Oh, he was brought up in a single parent home with his mother, and he was oppressed by his teachers who taught him white math instead of a more diverse and inclusive teaching method for math, and that's why he beat his girlfriend. So no, don't put him in jail. Just let him let him out and be on probation, because that'll help reform him instead. We go through those cycles, and then what it teaches people is that, yeah, I can get away with crime and I can do it again. That's why and I was trying to get from Manville how old that blonde hair, blue eyed kid that the judge wanted to take away his license was. What the judge was doing was correct. Yeah, scare the shit out of him on his first offense, and then he'll learn, yeah, don't do that shit. None of this, oh, well, it's his first offense. I think that's backward. First offense, yeah, don't throw him in jail with hardened criminals, but make sure he knows he fucked up and he's going to pay a price.
Well, I'll say this, like in defense of people, if I had to grow up around a bunch of violent black people that I have to worry about like trying to fuck with me, rob me, whatever, I mean, I don't know that I would I don't know that I would be the I mean I think I could see how I would be violent too. I mean,
Yeah, but it didn't used to be that way. In
So I
even during Jim Crow, okay, there wasn't this in what was more harsh conditions, there wasn't this same level of violence.
well
That's the
That
problem.
is
well
true.
Pepe, that's no
That is
no.
true.
You
I
can't
hate when people
blame
say
it,
that.
you can't blame it on poverty. Remember
no, I didn't
Bro?
blame it on poverty. I said if I was living in
Oh yeah.
proximity with people that were constantly fucking with me, trying to rob me, if I was getting jumped, if I was doing any of that, I'm not going to say it would be above me
Oh
not to
yeah.
end up just popping one of them like literally shooting one of them afterwards or getting payback. Like I'm a
Yeah.
human, so I
Yeah,
See,
mean,
this the shit I'm talking about.
yeah, but Pepe, and I don't want to discuss it with you personally because you've told us your story, but that's what fathers are there for. I mean, if you know, um, I'll try not to make this, but when the first time my kid got in trouble in school, he knew he fucked up, and I let him know he fucked up in front of the other teachers, so they knew that I took it seriously. And then we got home and he heard more how he fucked up. And when he fucks up, he knows it. That's what parents are for. Not
Accountability.
understand. Say that again, mister.
Accountability. That's what you're
Yeah,
talking about.
thank you very and yes, exactly.
You know
Thank you
you
very
you know
much.
what, Pepe? That's the difference between you and I grew up in the first 11, 12 years of my life in a very impoverished neighborhood because my mom came as an immigrant and then finally worked her way up and got out of there. But I was bullied. I saw all the violence. But there's a difference between people who decide I'm not going to be a violent person or I will be a violent person. Myself and my family chose to be nonviolent people and we turned out okay. We didn't go your route of going, I will fight the violence with violence because that would put you in the same circle with those same violent people.
look,
That's the difference
let me
between you
ask
and
you a
I.
question. If somebody jumps me, steals my shit, and they've done it more than once, maybe this time, I had to go stay in the hospital for a little bit, and then I know they're still fucking with me. Feel, should I morally feel bad if I thought I could get away with it, which I probably would, and just put a bullet in the back of his head? Should I have any moral qualms with doing that, just to protect myself from his predation?
Well, I got jumped. I had a lot of those things happen to me, and guess what? I turned out okay, and I don't think about those things. The people who did those things are bums somewhere, still doing those things, or dead or in jail, and I moved on with my life. So if you want to put bullet in the back of your head and be a criminal and get away with things, that's the type of things that land you in juvie.
Well,
Yeah.
if we're going to be completely fair about this, everybody has their own journey that they must lead. Yeah, I mean, Tien, on one hand, I know you're saying the things to give heat to Pepe, and I get that. And I also agree with you, and we should applaud people like you who, in spite of their difficult circumstances, nonetheless still manage to not fall into crime. Good for you, and kudos to you. However, and there is a wide range of human experience, but when we speak in generalities, and I'm using Pepe as perhaps the example, we do know that statistically having the fathers in the home statistically improves the outcomes of both girls and boys developmentally and in terms of their adult life, not getting into crime, not getting into drugs, not becoming strippers, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I think we can discuss both of those things and not necessarily have to use them as throwing shade at Pepe. Though, if I'm not here to police you either. If you want to do that, that's your business. But I'm trying to remember the Chris Rock joke. If 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 it's something like, if the lights aren't on, that's daddy's fault. And if your kid becomes a stripper, well, that's mommy's fault. Something like that. I forget.
Well, I'm just curious though, Tien. You said that like violence isn't an answer. I mean, I don't know. If somebody kills a loved one and you can, let's just say you'll get away with it. I mean, are you telling me that you don't know that you could do it? Yeah. Look, here's an example. Do you know that because it was on video? There were these Cajuns that lived in Louisiana, and the karate instructor ended up kidnapping this boy out of state and sodomizing him. And they both walked off the airplane, and the father was, had a hat on and acted like he was on the phone. And then when the suspect, the karate teacher, was being escorted off the plane, he turned around from the pay booth holding a revolver and shot him in the head and killed him. I mean, I think he didn't get convicted of
He
the
walked.
Louisiana jury wasn't going to convict him, but I think he got some kind of like civil rights charge or some shit, but he still didn't really do any time. But I mean, Tien, do you think like that man, for example, is a violent criminal? He's somebody that because he resorted to using violence, he's somehow bad?
No, Doug. No, no, Doug. Yeah, Brandon Herrera did a video about recreating that. And every time one of them tries to take the same shot, they all go, no, Doug, no. Because the cops knew the guy.
Oh, I think wasn't his name Larry?
Oh, but then Larry, whatever. But yeah.
Is it no Larry? Why Larry?
Yeah.
Well, Pepe, I don't know. I operate for me personally. I try to operate under the laws of whatever country I'm in. I've been to several countries, 38 to be exact. And I'll tell you this, I hate what's going on with I hate the cities in Europe and the pickpocketing and the scamming, and I hate the fact that criminals are being protected all across the world, right? But we have laws in countries that have to be respected, unfortunately. But I'll tell you this because I'm not a saint, all right? I'm not here to say I'm going to forgive whoever hurts my family or hurts me. When I was in South Africa in December, a guy snatched my phone, right? And I never thought this would happen to me, but it did. He snatched my phone. But the good thing is that there's a wiggle room in their justice system where jungle justice can almost be had without any consequence. So when people in the neighborhood came to me and said, "We can catch this guy," they said, "What do you want us to do with him? You want us to kill him? You want us to beat his ass?" Now I'm operating under the guise of that flawed system, that loophole that gives me power to have that type of revenge, the type of revenge I can't have in the United States of America. So I operate under that guise. That's just how I move. I follow the law, bro. I'm a law abiding citizen wherever I go.
Well,
I
let
don't
me
try
ask
to
you a
get
question.
away with
If you live in a
anything or any of that.
country, let's say you live in a country where nobody follows the law, everybody skims from the top. It's just kind of a corrupt country. Would you obey the law then?
Well, no, that's my point. That's the point I'm making. Is that because I'm currently in a lawless nation, I have that type of wiggle room. I don't have that in America, so I can't try to get away with things. I can't try to like exact my own form of revenge because America's not going to protect me. They're going to protect the criminal. I'm going to be the one in jail with the criminal. He might even walk.
I mean, I would think there's some countries like Mexico, and you can get into it, but like there's a lot of laws where I'd say they're at best suggestions. They're not.
Well, if you, while you're in America, you can't just do what you want, and you and I know that. You can come to South Africa, and we can go beat and kill everybody who's ever done something to anybody and get away with it. You can't get away with it in America, and you just have to respect it. Yeah, Elizabeth, it's an immigration crisis that allows for any and everybody undocumented to populate cities, uh, scam, steal, pickpocket from everybody and with no consequences. It was a shame when I was in Madrid and Paris. They're arresting people left and right and then letting them go. And then they're warning people, warning tourists, if something ever happens to you, don't do anything about it, or you're the one who goes to jail. That's the world we live in today. Our lawmakers are scumbags who protect criminals because they were probably elected by criminals, so they have to maintain that status quo. But I think there's a revolution coming. There'll be more and more conservative leaders that will say we want isolationism and we want to kick undocumented people out, and we want people who actually can respect the laws of the land. Until then, you're not safe as as a civilian. The criminals are the safest people on earth.
Yeah, going to Paris, going to Madrid, you might as well just be going to Africa, honestly. And that's how bad the immigration issue has become, you know, in Europe, especially western part of Europe. These places are unrecognizable at this point, and it is quite sad. But it's people like, I'm not saying like you, but people that look like you. They cried racism in 2020 during COVID, BLM, all that stuff. They defunded the police, and this is the result we have, right? Um, you're getting knife attacks in London. You're getting pickpocketed in Paris. This was all designed by the same people that said Black Lives Matter. Um, Again, and these people don't live in the same communities. They don't have to walk across the same streets that the people that are actually affected by it. Like the lady, the Georgia University student that was raped by a bunch of migrants. Um, it's just sad. It's absolutely disgusting. And I agree with you, man. We need more conservative leaders. We need people held accountable for what I believe is like a national identity crisis, identity genocide. Like we need to be doing better, but that's racist. You get called racist if you actually stand for principles.
Or you get called a coon.
Yeah, you a coon, you Uncle Tom, you with that tomfoolery. It's just the same shit, bro. It's so tiring.
I
Uh,
mean, the West is committing suicide. Like, I don't even know what the fuck. Europe, I think, is they're they're in. I think they'll actually have, even though demographically, like their native population's higher percentage in comparison to foreigners. It's the types of immigrants they're getting that, and their religion that's really going to be the like a huge problem for them.
Well, the thing is, okay, why are they bringing in the immigrants? Because they bring them in to do the jobs that the folks there won't do. So you're not exactly getting, top shelf, if you know what I mean. Because that's not
It's only,
what's
I think it's only partially true. The mass immigration start, like, if you look at the first waves of mass immigration into the U.S. in the 1800s in particular, there was northern industrialists that ended up basically they had campaigns in southern and eastern Europe, advertising campaigns. They wanted a huge influx of people to come in, and it was just basically they'd have a more cheap labor and of course consumers and shit. And these were all WASPs that were doing it, and at the time when they were immigrating here, people did not care for the Eastern or Europeans or the Italians. They thought they were, much too different from them. And you kind of, I don't know, it seems kind of similar now too. I mean, why do you think all of these large donors, why do you think they want all of these foreign, they wanted, I guess you could say, our borders wide open?
Cheap labor.
I don't think it was because they had some grand idea of like, oh, like one world, we're all the same, prosperity for everybody. Like, no, I mean, I think they're just they only care about themselves and being able to access more money.
That and votes. That's why they're pushing to reform the flood in,
Oh yeah, of
and then
course,
change the
that too.
voter ID laws where you don't need an ID to vote. Yeah, because they know these people are going to vote Democrat, man.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I
Hundred
voted. I
percent.
worked at a voter registration place on voting day, and the people would just come in and just show their name, their driver's license, and they would just go vote. And I turned around to the guy. I looked, dude, that guy. I don't think that guy's citizen. He goes, yeah, we're not allowed to ask.
I mean, I don't know, like how it's kind of mind-boggling. How did it become that the status quo, and it's been like this for decades if you think about it. Because I remember even George W. Bush would say like diversity is our greatest strength. He'd say stupid shit like that. Anybody can be an American. All of this colorblind bullshit, and it was almost like a in a re, like it was almost like a religion that like for example, even in England, anybody can be English. What is it to be English? It's just that you adopt the culture. It's like, no, that's not the fucking case. Like the people are definitely a part of what it means to be fucking English. Um, and it's the whole push for the like religious fervor that they have for like pushing diversity, multiculturalism. To me, there's literally zero. I mean, maybe there's a couple little small things, but there's not an actual strength. There's no real fucking benefit from it. Why is this being pushed so hard? It just doesn't make any fucking sense.
So I do think that, I mean, this is white America, right? But like this also does not necessarily like the norm in the country is most people don't really have an issue with immigration, right? Overall, they don't have there's not as much vitriol as even the common person that you talk to. I mean, this is an outlier, right? The issue that people have, the reason why it's now become a bigger problem is like so we all kind of acknowledge that these people are needed for economic growth, right? America is a country that is below replacement rates with white alones. Our economy would start to shrink if you don't have a source of immigration or additional population growth. And a generally growing economy is beneficial for all of us, right?
Is it
So
beneficial for all of us?
I don't think anyone is dumb enough to just say like we should 100% close immigration, right? I think that's a silly point because it would be detrimental
Well, I
to our
never said
economic.
100%.
It would be detrimental to our economic success, and yeah, that's all.
Well, yeah, we are
Sure.
a
Hey,
nation of
hey guys,
immigrants,
I
right?
just
Right.
wanted to say it's a
That's a good
beautiful
point.
day. I wanted to
Well,
say it's a beautiful day. I'm not going to take long. I'm out on the river floating. I want
Shut
to tell
up,
you all
fag.
guys to get your ass out there and start enjoying the grass and the day, okay?
Oh,
amazing.
sorry.
Mother,
So
I thought he was a
I wanna
troll.
I
add
My
want
bad.
to.
something
Can I
to you.
hold on? I
I
wanted
wanna.
to. Because I was going to ask him something. So
Oh, I'm sorry, man. I thought
when,
you were a troll. I
when it
apologize.
comes to first of all, people, when it comes to like the GDP or grow, quote unquote, growing the economy, I don't care about making corporations or the wealthy wealthier. I don't really care about that. Now, what I don't see is immigrants that the standard of living in terms of I don't know, being able to buy a fucking house, any of this shit has gotten better for the everyday American. So I do not care about growing the fucking economy if that's not going to be felt by the middle class. Like that's bullshit.
Well,
Okay,
actually, getting
let
rid
me
of
ask you this
immigrants will
question.
increase cost of food production and housing for the
No,
middle class.
decrease,
So it would actually make
decrease.
inflation worse and make the quality of life much
No,
worse
it's
if you get
literally
rid of all
What
these
are you
people and the
talking
cheap
about?
labor.
decrease, bro. Decrease.
Decrease, because labor costs would come down, and the labor costs would be passed on to a decrease in the food prices.
You think Americans are going to accept the same wages as these migrants?
Oh, you talking about? No, you reversed it. Okay, so you made it. We were thought you were talking about immigrants as the workers. Okay, got it. Now
Well,
I'd like to ask this. I'd like to ask this question either Pepe or my mother. Now the thing about immigration, what I'm concerned about is how the United States has certain like with certain numbers that allow per this country or per that country. How they select the country that they want or and the numbers from each country. I don't get it. Like how do they make that checklist or that criteria list?
do they even do that still?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's not an open. It's not an open application as you think.
No,
Every
no, I know
country,
that becoming a legal citizen is actually pretty hard, but
right? Like they'll accept a certain amount from this country, a certain amount from that country. They have certain numbers they'll accept.
I don't know. I really don't know the answer to that.
I mean, isn't there like, who the fuck passed it? Wasn't it like 1900 something that there was like a quota system law, and then they tried to reform it? I can't think of the fucking president at this
The
point, but
nation of origins quota.
it was like I think it was Johnson. I don't know.
Yeah, Lyndon
Anyways,
B. Johnson changed it.
essentially what how it works is that it prioritizes right family reunifications, right? I think that's the first one that is most likely to get you a legal path to citizenship. Then it has something to do with I think your employment. Those are the other options, and then the last one, I think that's it. Wait, refugees, but that's I don't know if that is included in that law or not. I have no idea. I have to look it up.
Well, the 1960 the 1965 Immigration Act that got rid of the nation of origins quota, which so back so remember how I was saying how a bunch of Eastern Europeans came here, then a bunch of as well as Southern Europeans, and they weren't like people didn't really care for them as much as they cared. In other words, they were kind of discriminatory against them, at least the population. So in 1924, that's when instituted the nations of origins quota, where it prioritized Northwestern Europeans and allowed some Southern and Eastern Europeans to come here, and also that like with the communism and all of that shit, like the the United States was very wary of letting in people from Eastern Europe, but they ended up, yeah, in 1965 they took that away, so now people could come here from all over the world. That's why we were like 90% white country then, and we used to have the Bracero programs, for example, where Mexicans could be guest workers and they'd have to have a savings account set up where they'd have to have a certain percentage of their money in that account, and it could only be accessed in Mexico.
That's because, well, honestly, like I think that's especially because the whole Mexico border situation with crossing back and forth to live in Mexico, and that's a special situation that doesn't really apply to most people, right? Most Mexicans, if they had a choice, would prefer to stay in their own country than come
The
to the U.S.
1965 Immigration Act, that's when we started getting Mexicans staying here, like permanently, and having kids here, and then they became
Because they
citizens.
couldn't go home, right? Isn't that what that law did? It said basically you can't do that anymore.
No, the Bracero program made it so you pretty much had to go home. Whereas once the Bracero program ended right before the 1965 Immigration Act.
Oh,
So both things kind of happened nearly at the same time. So that's when we got like a huge influx of Mexican immigrants.
Well, you're naturally going to have a huge influx of bordering country immigrants.
Well, especially if they're a lot poorer than your
Right.
country.
Yeah, that too.
Why does Nicholas still have me blocked?
I'm done answering this stupid question.
Yeah, you see lots of Americans trying to cross over into Canada. It's a real problem. Actually,
Have you
I
seen the
think you
video
do.
on the border? Like it's laissez-faire. Like
Oh
it's
no,
so
you
easy.
go to Canada, you think you're going to get free shit. They're hardcore there. You're not getting anything.
Yeah, again, I mean, there's still obviously drug smuggling, the Canadian border, fentanyl, that's common, definitely. When people are like, oh, why is he talking about the Canadian border? No one crosses it.
The Mexicans have actually like set up shop, I guess. Really,
No, no,
they have
I
a
know this
pretty
border control.
sophisticated like drug network up there now.
Yes. Yeah, the board. I was working in Arizona at the VA, and I used to talk to the border patrol guys. They told me exactly what you're saying. That they used to go through Mexico, but they were the border patrol is so focused on Mexico, so they decided to go up through Canada and bring it in that way.
Yep. You should see some of the busts they've had up there. They've
Huh.
they've they've found like facilities that were like very pretty sophisticated when it comes to like making certain drugs, and then like they found like literal arsenals in houses up there, which is kind of interesting because they're so like, as you anybody knows, Canada's like has really strict gun control, but they don't obviously seem to care. They think business is easier up there.
Yeah, and you're from Arizona too, so you would like El Chapo would literally build a tunnel right by the Mexican-U.S. border, and then up the tunnel into a normal-looking suburban house in Arizona. You would never imagine that's where the drugs are just being taken out of.
Yeah,
Crazy
they,
stuff.
they don't uncover those quite a bit. It's kind of interesting, like the level of ingenuity that they have that goes into making that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Seen
and
the
he learned
sub.
that tunnel building. El Chapo learned that tunnel building from the folks that were in like Gaza, where they were building those tunnels across from like cross border from Egypt to Gaza to smuggle food and stuff. So
Have you
that's where
seen?
El Chapo got the idea.
Have you seen the drug submarines they use too?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty badass.
Escobar used to do that.
Yeah, Escobar. Yep, yep.
they apparently have no, Mexicans have them now too, but they're at least they know they have been working on remote control underground submarines.
Yeah.
I mean, they're expensive, but obviously it's they'd be very hard to catch.
Bro, are you in a Walmart? What's going on?
I'm in a grocery store checking it out. Almost done.
The working class can't afford grocery delivery, so you gotta go in the store. Pure Pepe.
Can't order. Can't afford what?
Pepe goes to Kroger's. He doesn't go to Bristol Farms like me and Alan.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, you can't Instacart. Like, that's too expensive.
You getting your tamales, Pepe?
I'm not like well off or anything. I go to the fucking grocery store like
He's at the
like
Ranchero
other
Market.
people.
Wow. It's giving
Wait,
poverty.
wait, are you telling me that you're not sponsored by anyone?
No, unfortunately. I don't think the stuff I say online is advertiser friendly. Like nobody would sponsor
Ah.
me.
Yeah, I doubt that as well. But hey, put your
So
cash
one
app in the
time,
chat if
Pepe, I
people
was
want to
in.
support Pepe.
Oh, go ahead, sir. Go ahead. Guest, go ahead. What'd you say?
Oh no, I'm just saying if people want to support Pepe, uh, you can donate to his cash app.
So one time, Pepe, I was chilling in your audience, just going about my day, and I was like sitting in the office at one of my clients, and my earphones died, and all you could hear was, "Oh, this fucking monkey, blah 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 blah," and I was like, "Oh my god, I cannot believe half the office is." I was like horrified. Like never again will I open this room in a professional environment.
You went back to the office?
Well, I have to go to my client's office sometimes.
Good for you.
I mean, I talk on here like I never would need another job again, and with AI coming out, I'll probably, if somebody releases something, I'll say like, I used to make these serious runes online, and these guys would always come in and troll me, and they ended up making AI recordings of my voice. It's so unfortunate. I'd just play it off.
Oh wow! For the amount of hours you've been on here, they could pick up every word you have and be ready for AI for you.
Yeah.
Sam, your voice sounds familiar. Are you someone I know?
What are they gonna call it? Jim Crow AI?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sam, you're like the Coptic Christian
Wait,
guy.
is this Mike?
I don't know, man.
Oh,
Are you
okay,
No, it's
fine.
are you Coptic
Sam.
Christian?
I don't know, man.
I'm sorry. All white people sound the same. I apologize, but
Sam is Middle Eastern, and so is Mike.
Yeah, see, the wealthier white people will use those delivery services, but the really wealthy ones, they get their own farms to grow their own food and then get illegals to do all the picking so they can, get some of that white supremacy out and, oppress their workers. That's how they go food shopping. I
I
mean, in
think
case in case people didn't know how evil white people are.
so. I had a neighbor. He intentionally hired a white guy to mow his yard because he because of that reason. He wanted a white man to have dominance over a white man mowing.
Yeah, my parents did that. Like, there's certain things that they're not willing to ask black people to do. Like, I've never had a black maid, never had a black landscaper. Like, that's no, sorry, that's white and Latino work. Sorry, mother, but
I'm gonna be
that is for the Mexicans.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, there's a guy that, like, if I had a problem like my washer dryer or water heater or whatever, it's like father and son. They're black, and my parents had used them. I'd use them. Like I can't think of any other black people I hire for like technical shit. I
That's
I mean,
mean,
because of the
contracted.
but yeah, we trust them
Jeffersons.
and they do a good job.
So we
Con,
But
have
that's
con,
because of the Jeffersons. Look how the housekeeper, the black housekeeper, treated Wheezy and George. She never worked for them because they were friends. Of course, they're not going to hire black people.
but I also think. Wait, never mind. No, I'm trying to be more
It was
careful.
yeah,
intentionally stupid, mother.
I was
It
like,
was
what?
intentionally stupid. Okay.
no. I was trying to figure it out. It didn't make sense. I was like, what?
No, but that was the running theme. Like in the first episodes, they move into the new high rise,
Right.
and Wheezy tells her friend, I forget the character's name, like initially she was like, no, I don't want to hire you because we're friends and I wouldn't want to make you feel uncomfortable. And her friend says to her, look, I need a job. That doesn't matter. Hire me. We know each other. Why wouldn't you hire me? And based on that, Wheezy hires her friend. And then, of course, her friend is always talking back to her and never does what they want.
Right.
Yeah, never. If you're a boss, never do that.
Sounds like
Yeah,
a
never
typical
hire.
black woman employee, Alan.
Didn't they
Well,
have like a
that's what I was
petition on the
joking.
Jeffersons? It's to like they were trying to get all the neighbors to sign it, and like the neighbors were like, well, that's racist. And then they said, well, but they're Puerto Rican, and they're like, oh, sign me up. Like, I forget watching.
You know what's funny? Have you guys ever seen that show Sanford and Son?
I
Yeah.
Yeah,
never liked
they're
it.
they're moving. What they moved up to the east side or the west side? I forget.
No, I'm talking about Sanford and Son. It's a completely different show.
Is that
So,
Red?
Yeah,
Red
but
Fox,
they
Red?
move up.
right?
Fox,
Red
So,
Lamont
Fox.
Wilson,
right.
yeah.
So Lamont Wilson, as you know, Sig, I went to school, elementary school, with his youngest daughter, who's one of my really, really, really
Flex.
good friends, and she married a white dude. Wouldn't you know, Sig? She married a white dude. One of my other best friends, Matt Maione. Love that kid.
Yo, that was a great show, man. Sanford and Son, hands down, like one of the best shows in that era, bro. So,
Wait, Sick, isn't Sanford and Sons the one where they move up, right?
No, that's the
nah,
Jeffersons.
you
Ah,
white
fucking right.
cracker.
Sorry.
Not
I'm
all
sorry.
black
I'm
people are
sorry.
the same.
No, Sanford Son was Red Fox calling everybody honkies.
What city is that from? Sanford and Sons.
Watts. Yeah, he was in Watts,
Where's that?
California.
Oh,
Near LA.
California.
Yeah,
Okay.
L.A.
it's near LA. Yep.
It's like the
Okay,
shittiest
gotcha.
part
David,
of, or at least it was the shittiest part of LA, wasn't it?
David, where are you from?
How did you not hear
I'm
of
from New
Watts?
York. You
They had
know.
like riots there and shit.
Oh,
Hey, we're gonna sit you down, David, and run you through Good Times, Sanford and Son,
Yeah, I don't know.
Jefferson.
I don't know. I don't know anything about the West Coast. In fairness, I travel there a lot, but it's like JFK to LAX back and forth. That's all.
Y'all know Jefferson's was a what is that called when it
A
separates?
spin-off.
Spinoff, yeah, it's a spinoff of All in the Family.
Yep, very true. Wait, so what do you think about Gary Coleman's wife being looked at for his murder?
Gary Coleman was murdered?
I was surprised he was married to a white woman.
Wait, how old was he?
I think he was in his 50s, 40s.
The short guy, right?
Well, he wasn't short, he was disabled.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to be nice. Okay.
Wasn't retarded, he was special
Yeah,
needs.
I saw that he died. I didn't know there was some other things behind it. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, if your spouse dies and there's any mysterious circumstances, it's like 90% of the time it's the husband or wife who killed.
Right,
Exactly. Look at what
especially.
happened to OJ. Look at how they did that man dirty.
What are you?
OJ is innocent.
I remember
Like, what the
my,
fuck are you talking about?
I remember like my family
Well,
was.
the jury's peers said he was innocent. So
No, no,
Exactly.
no, no, no. They said not guilty. In America, in a courtroom, you're never guilty or innocent. It's guilty or not guilty.
He's innocent.
They don't say innocent.
He's innocent. There was a white construction worker that was working on a project, okay, in Northridge that consulted with the Simpsons in remodeling the Gretna Green house shortly before Nicole died. And he actually confessed to the murder years later when he was locked up in Florida. So, again, at the end of the day, if you want to say it was the son, I'll give you that. Okay? He was a little bit
The
confused.
son.
The son.
What?
The son. I want to say if it was the son, the
You've been
oldest
Have
son.
you
smoking
seen the
crack.
son's
Who's smoking
physique?
crack?
You've been like
The
MLK's
son.
alive. All of this weird shit today.
What do you mean
God damn.
MLK is alive? The fuck are you talking about? Listen,
Oh, okay,
if
okay,
y'all want to
cool.
go on this conspiracy on this app and blame Jews for everything, MLK is alive and OJ Simpson is innocent. Okay?
And did they convert to Judaism?
OJ did, right?
I was I was
Where's the
joking.
secret refrigerator they're holding the children who's drunk in the
Excuse me,
drain?
Nicole Brown Simpson
for
was
the record,
Catholic.
OJ,
Nicole Brown Simpson was Catholic. Thank you very much.
yeah, she was very Catholic. And for the record,
No, I don't
OJ
think the son
never,
was.
She's buried in a
OJ,
Catholic cemetery. What are you
But
talking
that guy
about?
was that. Yeah, but I think the guy, the guy lives here in Scottsdale. Whose son they killed. Fuck, I forget his name. But
Are
I
you
think
talking
he
about
was.
Ron Goldman?
Yeah, I think he was Jewish, wasn't he?
Listen, we're not doing this, okay? We're,
yes,
we're, we're
he's
not we're
Jewish,
not
but
doing this. We're
that
not doing this. You're not going to
that's
blame
not
the
a deal breaker.
Jews, okay, for the O.J. Simpson
I
situation.
blame them. I already
You're not
did.
going to blame the Jews.
What did Saint Peter say
Okay,
to
And,
first of
and, and let
all,
me
Nicole?
just
his
tell you something. Hold on. Let me just
attorney,
tell you
Can
something.
I
Let
ask
me
a
had
question
hold
nothing
on.
though?
to do
No,
with.
no, 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 no. If there's anybody in the victimhood camp that has the heavier weight as far as finances, it's the Browns. Okay. Shout out to Casey Brown, that's married to Nicole Brown Simpson's nephew. Right? They
Amazing.
own the Mission Inn Hotel.
Okay,
They're worth a half
wow,
a
you're
billion
screaming. You're
dollars.
screaming. But
What
I'm
did
pretty sure Goldman. He worked at Nordstrom's. He was the suit guy.
Okay, that has
So like,
okay,
no, I don't think. I'm just saying. I don't think they like. I don't know if they have any kind of
He
money, but I
worked
don't
okay,
at
think.
okay.
Hold
Medicine.
First of all,
on. God damn.
first of
Shut the
all,
fuck up. Jesus
He used to
Christ.
no. The father
But
used to work at Goldman and Sons.
the father worked at Nordstrom for I don't know, like at least 20 some fucking years. Maybe he still works
okay,
there. But
my nephew
oh
worked
my
in
God,
Nordstrom.
shut the fuck up
17.
while I'm talking. God damn it, you drunk fucking spick. Jesus Christ. Holy shit.
David is Armenian, for the record.
Wow, that was harsh.
I call him a beaner all the time. He's how
A
we
drunk fucking spit.
yeah.
You devils got nerves calling people names.
Yeah.
what did Saint Peter say to Nicole Simpson when she arrived at the pearly gates? Nobody? Your waiter will be with you in a moment.
I thought she would have said it was good to chop it up with you.
too,
See, Abby
too
said she
soon,
knows.
Kevin.
See,
Too
Abby
soon.
said he works at the men's department at Nordstrom in Scottsdale. Yeah, like he's been working there for a long time.
Wow, they got a Nordstrom there in Scottsdale. All right.
Do you know Scottsdale's kind of like
Yeah, I
a lot of
know,
wealthy
but
people here?
yeah, I know, but
It's not even that fancy.
Well,
They
yeah,
had a fucking
to,
Nordstrom when I was living in Anchorage, Alaska. They had one downtown.
yeah. To be fair, Nordstrom's is not that high
How
end.
far are you from Paradise Valley?
Like 10, 15 minutes.
Got it.
That's a wealthier
Right.
place in
That's
Scottsdale.
that's
Wait,
that's
what
really
does
where
that
the
mean?
heavy lifting folks are, right?
Scottsdale, no, yes, it's you don't have any cheap homes in it's obviously like the average price of a home is going to be
Wait,
way
do you
more
have
expensive there,
a?
but you have parts of Scottsdale where you have homes that are, almost as if not as expensive as some of the ones in Paradise Valley. And like very exclusive places though.
yeah, Scottsdale's a high end for Arizona.
I always
And then
preferred Sedona.
yeah, Sedona. I was just about to tell you Sedona too.
Exactly. I actually still have a timeshare out there.
Where
Oh,
were all the
King, King,
hippies?
I met Fred
can I
Goldman.
can I
He's
ask
the
a
men's
question though?
department. He's the men's department at the fashion. What's the name of that mall? FA
Scottsdale
in
Fashion
Scottsdale.
Square.
Yeah, he's been there for years, and he has a big mustache. I don't know if he's still working there
Yep,
because
the
I haven't been
mustache.
in there, but
He
you
has a
can.
big mustache.
And they, I don't know if they've ever collected out of the OJ estate because some of that money,
Abby,
they
they've
were.
collected about a $500,000.
Okay.
That's it. That's
Yeah.
it. And what
I've
happened was when OJ was alive, which by the way, he was my neighbor here in Vegas for a long time, after he was doing some government service in Nevada, um, the money, the NFL money, they weren't able to touch. Like he was getting some kind of residual
retirement
from the,
pension, right? So
right.
Right,
in
you
the
They
can't
couldn't
touch
NFL,
that.
touch that,
right? I think he gets like
right?
$250,000 a year in
Well,
retirement
he
pension.
did. He did. So now I don't know what the estate, if they're, because they have a judgment against him, whether they were able to execute on the judgment on what he owned. But he was here. After he went to jail here for stealing his own memorabilia. He ended up moving to Vegas, and then like a whole bunch of restaurants didn't want him in there, but like a couple of the casinos he had some lawsuits with because they
So
kicked him out.
his older daughter, when he was married to Marguerite, like we're talking about before Nicole, like his older set of kids, he had 3 kids with his former wife, and then he had 2 kids with Nicole. So from what I understand, a lot of his assets are in the name of his oldest
Yeah,
child, you know what I mean, from his previous marriage, and that's why they were able to kind of subvert a lot of the collection on that said lawsuit, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
yeah,
Abby.
yeah, they
that's
could do that. And there's a state exclusion of 30 million, up to 30 million, or near that number, or 20 to 30 million. No, 20 million, 20 million. So
Well, and the
there's a
other
lot
thing
of room.
too is his kids have their own money. Like 2 of his kids live in Tampa, and they're very successful real estate agents, and they do very well for themselves.
I think they got
Yeah,
more
but
money than
they
their
don't
dad.
have OJ money.
Yeah.
They don't have OJ money
I
though.
can say I'm not going to say anything about. I mean, I've definitely met him several times because he went out where we all went out. He stayed very handsome. Like I'm not going to say a good thing or a bad thing. I'm just going to give an observation. Like he kept his looks.
Well, the other thing too that you have to consider is that the kids are going to inherit from his kids with Nicole and the kids with Nicole and OJ. They're going to inherit part of the Brown estate. So I go back to the whole point that the Browns have embedded themselves into a lot of Southern California society through marriage and through business partnerships. Like, do you understand that like the grandfather used to own a Hertz franchise that used to compete with Rick Caruso? Like, I mean, people don't understand like the greater context of
I
this.
really don't care about how much money
Wait, if
those
they're
people
okay,
have. I mean, these are just like the children of celebrities like that. Like, I should care about them.
They lost
You
their
should
daughter. Very
you
sad.
should
no,
care
Nicole Brown.
deeply.
Why was she a waitress?
It was a very polarizing case, and she was a waitress coming out of being in her youth. She also modeled. She did many different things.
She also kind of strikes me as a gold digging whore that cheated on her husband with a handsome young man, and O.J. Simpson being O.J. Simpson
They
chimped
were
out,
divorced.
They were
well,
divorced,
sure,
Pepe.
but I mean,
They were divorced, Pepe.
all right, well, still he got, he just
Yeah,
chimped
how
out.
long had they been
And
divorced?
there's no evidence that she was cheating on him with that man. There's actually a lot of supporting evidence that he
Why
could
did she get
potentially have
involved
been
in it with
gay.
him? Why did she get involved with him?
Okay, so they went to Mezzaluna, which was a restaurant in Southern California. They had a restaurant in Monarch Beach next to where her parents lived, and they also had one in Brentwood. She went to the restaurant. She forgot her glasses. The young man, as a person working at the restaurant, returned her glasses right up the street. It's walking distance. Very simple. Very, very, very innocent. There's nothing to say that they ever had an affair.
I'm not talking about well, all right, I could be wrong, and I
How
don't know.
long had they been divorced?
I think like well over a year. Like I was
Yeah, he
very, very,
still
very young.
wasn't over her. Still wasn't over her.
They were still fucking.
How do you
Yeah,
go?
there
How
you
do you
go.
get? How do you go into a fit of rage where you'll kill somebody with a fucking sword? I mean, that is like so something like something snapped. I mean,
Oh, dude, didn't you? What about? Oh, you didn't hear about the possible cocaine use? Hello,
does
hello.
cocaine make you
So
act like that? I
So
mean,
let's
Yeah,
let's talk
cocaine
about that
rage.
for a second. Shout out to Faye Resnick, right? So I actually ran into her a couple of weeks ago at a gas station down the hill from my house, and Faye Resnick. Do you guys remember that angle?
Yes.
As far as right. So what's really crazy, and you also remember the theory as far as the Mezzaluna restaurant and the killings, the Colombian neckties, right? Do you remember that, Abby? So
That
Faye
no, that
Resnick.
part no.
Right. So if you read, I read a book. It's called Murder in Brentwood. It was written by actually Mark Furman. He wrote Murder in Greenwich, and he actually did an expose on the Mark Skakel murders in Greenwich. But nonetheless, he was one of the lead detectives on that case,
Right. He
and he
was the
also
one, but he also had prejudice, and so it was an issue when he was
right.
testifying.
Right, because he did an interview, and he was talking about Nazi salutes and like all of this. So they basically threw out a lot of the evidence that Mark Furman had to bring to the court. Now, under the theory that was exposed in the book, there was a drug trafficking ring that was occurring in the Mezzaluna restaurants that occurred from Colorado down to Monarch Beach into Brentwood, and there was actually a waiter in the Monarch Beach location and a waiter in the Colorado location that were found dead, and it was investigated by the DEI due to suspicious circumstances that may have been related to drug trafficking.
Oh my gosh.
I think you wanted to say investigated by the DA, not the DEI.
DEA,
Oh, oh,
DEA,
oh,
drug
I thought you
enforcement.
said DEI.
Dude,
No, no.
Adams,
Under the
Adams as
president.
it's really crazy, man. What the hell would the drug cartel want to do with those two, killing those two?
why
Yeah.
would a drug cartel want to that kind of publicity?
A- Abby,
Because
did
they were
you?
the restaurant was a front, and a lot of people were buying cocaine. A lot of people were not paying their debts. Again, if you look at the theory, Faye Resnick was in substance abuse treatment in Marina Del Rey when the murder happened. And mind
Yeah,
you,
but they
she was,
don't.
hold on, she was just as much the polite house guest as Cato Kalin was living in the Rockingham property. Faye Resnick lived with them. So
Yeah,
again,
but
a drug dealer could have been coming to look for Faye.
Did
But at
you?
the same
Did
time,
you?
though, like so a murder that ends up like the whole nation knew about it, was constantly in the news. Like who would? To me, that
right,
just
I
sounds
don't
way
know.
too
Just
messy.
look at the scene when he tries the gloves on, and he makes it really hard to put the glove on. I
Do you see
mean,
what I'm saying, Abby?
it's
oh
no,
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 no, no, no, no.
the
I'm
no.
saying that was very orchestrated. I don't.
Yes, I'll tell you
I
how.
mean,
Yeah,
it's
Abby, did you
Uh,
yeah.
read the Bill
uh,
Gacy book?
wait. The
I
glove
so
thing is very
my
important
well, go ahead.
because as a doctor, what happened was OJ has rheumatoid arthritis. So Johnny Cochran told him, "Hey, listen, don't take your rheumatoid arthritis medication. That way, your fingers get inflamed
Oh
and
God.
swollen,
We
so
don't
they
know
won't."
that. That's a conspiracy theory. So what
No,
is a
he has
plausible
arthritis.
theory? What is a plausible theory is when gloves, and especially leather gloves, are saturated by liquid material. and the expansion rate for which occurs that was different from when he last supposedly wore the gloves, for which he actually tried them on in court. The other thing that people have to understand, he was found not guilty, right? Not guilty means that they had a reasonable doubt in a lot of the things that I'm explaining to you. That gives the average person, a reasonable person, reasonable doubt. There could be many different theories as to how that woman died.
Well, it just means that
Yeah.
the prosecutor didn't
No, that
provide.
just means that Donnie Cochran did his job,
Right.
right?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, he did.
No,
Oh,
Marsha,
yeah,
what's her face, didn't do her job.
Marsha
If
Clark.
Marsha
Yeah,
Clark
if
and
you read the Bulgasi book or whatever is Bulgosi, whatever it is, one of the things that they royally screwed up on in the prosecution is the defense made a big deal about how the blood samples were contaminated. The problem is that's not the way DNA works. O.J. Simpson's blood was at the crimes. I forget exactly. It was at the crime scene. It was on the bloods. He got it. Whatever
It
it
was
was.
Barry Scheck's testimony you're talking about.
yeah,
Yeah.
Barry Sheck.
The
Yeah.
DNA expert that testified.
Yeah. Well, then, in any event, the point is that just because the the claim that the contamination changed the DNA or somehow made it false was incorrect.
Well, yeah, that's
Yeah.
easy to
That
understand now, but
the
back
Alan, wait,
then,
DNA
let me
was
just respond
there.
to I'm agreeing with Alan. Which
Yeah, yeah, I
created the
know you
doubt.
are.
Yeah, it totally
Yeah,
created the doubt. But I do want to
yeah.
share
No,
something
no,
with
no.
you though.
Created what doubt?
It created the doubt with the jury with respect to the
No, no.
DNA
Oh,
because
yeah.
Reasonable. Hold
The
on.
yeah,
fact that
Let's look at
the
the
fact that the
requirement,
Why is everybody
Alan.
prosecution
fucking
It's
talking over each
reasonable.
other?
the fact that the prosecution didn't clarify that for the jury
well, yes,
is
exactly.
yeah.
what
They didn't.
created the doubt.
But
I
There's
also that
100% agree with you.
technology,
But I just
that
let me
DNA.
finish. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Abby. Yeah.
No, I was just going to say that my girlfriend here in Vegas, her name's Jackie Glass, was a judge. She's retired now. She does arbitrations, and she was a sitting judge when he was tried on the theft crime here. And if you look at the sentence that he got like a very extreme sentence for the crime that he was convicted of in Nevada, and it was almost like a compensation for him to do some time. Um, but he,
Who was the
yes,
presiding judge on that case? It was Alito.
Alito.
Yeah, I would love to have him do a
Ito.
sit-down interview. Like, I would
Wait a
love to
second.
have him do a sit-down interview and actually discuss what his thought process was in allowing certain evidence into submission and his opinions on whether that said evidence contributed to the overall outcome of the case.
Adams, he
Wait,
may have done like a 60 Minutes one. Like you might want
Judge
to look.
Judge Ito.
Ito,
IT.
Ito,
sorry.
Yeah, not Alito. That's the Supreme Court.
Yes.
Ito,
They're
he
both
was,
Asian. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
no, they're not, both not Asian,
I'm
but
kidding. I'm
you,
kidding. I'm kidding.
you might take a look and see there probably was some kind of interview with him afterwards. But you know what's funny? I just want to say one other thing. That so much, and probably a lot of the people on Clubhouse only know this story from watching the People versus OJ, the TV series that was with Cuba Gooding, and probably, like that's their perspective on it as opposed to the case itself.
No, my
I
perspective
watched the
again,
trial.
it was watching the trial and then reading the books. You see what I'm saying? Like Murder in Greenwich, I'm sorry, Murder in Brentwood. You definitely need to read that book, Abby. It's a very, very, very interesting take on this case.
I want to ask another question, Abby. Do murder trials usually take 1 year? This
No.
thing went on. Okay. Yeah, so they dragged it on for the media and money.
Well, no, there were a lot of motions. There was you can have actually, I take that back because you can have a ton of pretrial motions and motions can hold you up for a long time. I mean, the defendant obviously has the right to a speedy trial, but if the defense chooses to delay it, with respect to the different motions to suppress evidence and suppress testimony,
Right. If
that
the
can take a long
defense is
time.
if the defense is asking for continuances to be able to, to be able to produce evidence or to be able to examine evidence, that's something that is well within the defendant's rights to be able to request for, right, Abby? So
Yeah,
it's not to say that it was the prosecution that delayed the said trial. It could be the mechanisms of the defense in preparing their said defense in delaying that trial. You have you have scientific evidence as far as DNA analysis. You also have tracking down witnesses. Witnesses, they have their own lives, they have their own schedules. Like, a lot of people don't understand like the mechanics behind how these things are pushed off in the way that they are.
did Alan leave?
Yeah, I think
No.
you did.
Okay. I don't know. I mean, there are trials that can take a long time. Again, you have a lot of pretrial motions that'll occur prior to the case in chief being tried. So
And that's mainly
anyway,
due to examining evidence, right?
well, it's evidence, it's testimony, it's whether certain witnesses can be included or not. I mean, there's all kinds of facets of it. Anyway, it's interesting. I just have that perspective because he ended up here. And I mean, I know a lot of people that, you know, had dinner with him and spent time with him and treated him like as if none of this was in the past. And then there were people that were totally wigged out and didn't want to be in the restaurant if he walked in. So he had that effect in his later years. It was just like no one was neutral on it, if that makes any sense. And so a number of restaurants banned him. And then I think he had a lawsuit. Maybe it was with the Cosmopolitan because they kicked him out. There was a few places.
I mean, even being a kid at the time and having polite elementary school conversation, like, it's one of those things where it was very polarizing, across generational lines, especially in Orange County, where Nicole had a presence. Like, the high school that I graduated from was the sister high school that she graduated from. So it's kind of one of those things where, people knew the family and they knew the circumstances. OJ was a very noticeable figure, and everybody down to generational lines that could understand. And I don't mean the complexities as far as the legal implications as to what he was facing, but the overall circumstance. I feel like it
But
was very polarizing.
Adams, let me tell you, I know exactly where I was when that verdict came in. I was practicing law in Philadelphia, and they had like a all points bulletin everywhere in the city that if that verdict came in guilty, what we would expect. We expected Rodney King riots, and we expected all kinds of problems. And that's, how many 3,000 miles on the other side of the country. It was incredibly polarizing, that case. I remember it.
Yeah, but you know what's interesting? I didn't realize how polarizing it was until the verdict was read, and I literally saw all white people gasping, like what, and all black folks like cheering. I was like, whoa, I didn't know it was like that.
Completely that way around the country. Or at least that was the anticipation that there would be an issue from it. Anyway, Pepe, you should go over to Nordstrom, see if he's still there.
I'll check next time. What I will say, Abby, is, my dad and my uncle were in many athletic circles, during that time living in Southern California. And I don't know. It was kind of one of those things. Like, my dad felt like OJ did it. My uncle felt like he didn't. You know what I mean? Like, it was one of those things where, it was a childhood conversation. Anytime we used to go to the base, or anytime we used to, go to the beach and whatnot, and I was in the car with my uncle and my cousins and my dad, it was one of those coffee table conversations that I constantly heard during my childhood. And then as I went through high school and, as, life progressed, I read books and, I just listened to different theories as to how this case unfolded, and I don't know. Like I'm gonna go with my uncle on this one. Like I feel like he did not do it.
So
Why was he in the?
Adams, did you read his book? If I did it, I
Who's?
didn't read it.
Yes,
OJ, I didn't read his
yes,
book.
yes, and it
And
was
what did he
okay.
say? I never read it.
So basically, from what I understand, and it's you have to understand, Abby, that book was heavily edited, right? So when the book actually made final edit review, the book had already been under the control of the Browns and the Goldmans. You see what
No,
I'm saying?
OJ's book. If I did
Yes,
it,
yes. They
how
took
did?
control of that book before it actually went to press.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They did. They did.
Okay, okay. What are your thoughts about him being in the Ford Bronco with his passport and that whole spiel?
I mean, any person. Listen, one of my best friends in high school, his dad, when I showed up to pick him up, every day, the same way that I did every single day. His house was being raided by the feds. His dad disappeared and was in Thailand up until after we graduated from college. So I mean, is it to say that he did something wrong? He's a free man today, living in Laguna Niguel, California. So is it to say that because he fled, that means that he did something wrong?
It's
There's a
hypothetical.
presumption. There's a presumption often, and it's definitely used in a criminal proceeding that if there's fleeing from the scene or if there's that kind of like, I don't know, but I'm curious how the country polled then and how the country would poll now on it.
I mean, Abby, I've given you two different theories. One for which actually rendered a confession. The Northridge construction worker that was working on the damage in Northridge at the time confessed to that murder in prison while he was in prison in Florida years later.
Was he out of his mind or like was he of right mind when he
I'm going to be honest with you.
confessed? Do
I
we know?
don't I don't
Like,
know his level of cognition. I don't know his level of him being able to offer up those statements and for them to be legally valid based on his state of mind. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know that.
Yeah,
But
but that's
what I am saying is that the same relevance and importance into people examining those facts should be taken into consideration in the reasonable doubt factor in terms of listen, even the evidence that we have aside from these other anomalies, people on a reasonable basis felt like the man did not do it.
yeah, but there was this guy who confessed to the little Ramsey girl, and they put him on the plane. They brought him to the courtroom. It turned out to be a whole hoax. The guy made it up.
Which is another weird case that also intersected into my childhood. So I went to Crystal Cathedral Academy while this, O.J. Simpson case was going on, and I guess the daughter of the Dr. Schuler, who was the pastor at the time, she actually purchased the Ramsey house in Boulder, Colorado. Very strange.
Wow. I would stay away from buying an infamous house.
So I think I pissed off Pepe enough for today.
Amazing. All right. Oh, I guess I'll just close the room since like everybody left.
All right, Pepe.
You guys.
Have a good one.
Cheers.